what do we see now in the streets? You've already turned the black woman against a black man and made that black woman put them on child support, because now they even created 1994, Bill Clinton, fat face, 12 hamburger eating, cheat sucking lip ass, signed something that says, listen, if we give you subsidies, guess what? You're going to have to not only not have the man there, but you're going to have to put that man on child support. So now we're going to make the man even more. We're going to separate them even more, because now the man already ain't getting no jobs. So we're going to put him on child support, and he can't be around his kids. Our women, I'm saying this, and I don't care who don't like it. If you don't like me, if you don't like what I'm saying, I'll get a meetup spot for you. All I'm saying to you is that our women, they turned on us, and they are now the oppressors of their own men. I hear women saying something. I hear women talking today about things that I never thought I'd hear women say out loud, but only think it. I was listening to a podcast today. I said, oh my God. Last week, my daughter graduated. I took my daughter downtown Dallas. We was riding through downtown Dallas. On the way back, there were girls, women everywhere. We looking out the window, you would be amazed how many of those hundreds of women we saw who are dressed like the whores of Babylon. Because there's no fathers in the home. The father's been ran off. Then you got hashtag fuck them kids, because now fathers have to deal with women who are demonically possessed mentally, because if you ain't giving them what they want financially, they're not going to have you build a relationship with their children. And then with men who are human beings acting their emotions, then they're the bad guy. The welfare system has destroyed the black family. I'm going to bring up two men that I respect very much. Guys, if you want to come up, the link is in the chat. If you don't see the link in the chat, don't feel away. Let me know. I'll re-put it in the chat so you guys can click on the link and come up and have this conversation. But remember, your camera must be on. Your TV and your wife must be shutting up, and your kids must be in the bed. You must have great lighting. I don't want to do a tour of your house, so don't click on the link and walk through your damn house so we can see the ceiling and the popcorn roof of your house. Sit your ass down. Be still, put some headphones on so we won't hear no damn echoes, and let's have the conversation tonight. All right? Don't interrupt that great production tonight. Okay? All right, so I'm going to bring up these two guys that I respect very much. I got R. Payne in the building tonight, man. He's in the building, man. I appreciate you being here. I also have my brother JT in the building tonight. All right, man. So listen, I want to talk to you guys real quick. And guys, if you're just coming in, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. All right. If you want to give to the channel, the Cash App is scrolling at the bottom. If you want to give something by Super Chat, it's also at the bottom of your screen as well. If you want to be a part of the panel tonight, do it. The instructions have already been read to you. Hit that link. Come on up here. Let's have the conversation. But again, thank you guys for being here, because without you, there's no us. And I appreciate you. All right. So, R. Payne, we'll start with you first. Has welfare, because you are old, you were here when the Titanic was built. Has welfare destroyed the black community?
Sure it has.
The black family.
Yeah, sure it has. You know, I mean, we could debate on, I mean, most of the stuff you talked about, in I saw the videos. A lot of that is true, and there's some variations around the theme. But yeah, the answer is yes. I mean, I like you said, I've been there. I was on a welfare line. I actually was on a welfare line. Like, it was like a mile long. And my grandmother found me one Saturday, and I cried for 10 hours that goddamn day. Wow. I'll never forget it. For that big hard ass cheese and those bricks, you needed a nuclear reactor to melt that shit.
Yep.
And then the peanut butter had like a quart of oil on top of that shit. When you open that can, you had to open the can.
And pour it off a little bit, stir it up.
Yeah, and then back then it was only white bread, right? So if you took out too much peanut butter, it would like rip the middle of the goddamn bread. It was so hard. So it had to be like thin fucking layers and shit.
Yep.
And you had to use twice as much jelly, so you could at least have some jelly. You could have those thin line of jelly. I'm serious. I mean, it was back. It was something else, man. Back then, man. Forget it. She had a whole basket full of shit. Now, my grandfather was in the house, but we had a big family, so I don't know how she got her hand on a voucher.
Right.
Well, she's old. My grandma had her hands on all kinds of shit, right? But I said, so the last thing she ever did again was take my ass with her. Yeah, she never put me back on that line. They were going to call an ambulance on my ass, man. I was like maybe about 12 or 13. Everybody in the line saying, "What's wrong with him?" You know, I heard the whisper, "What's wrong with him? Is he okay?" No, bitch, I wasn't okay. I wasn't okay. No, I wasn't. I was going through some shit. I mean, you know how you have friends and shit. They see you on the line. You know what's gonna happen to you after that shit. They got songs and shit. Oh yeah, we saw you on the welfare line.
Yeah. Are
Oh
paying no
god
food
damn.
stamps. Are paying the cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you okay? No, god damn it, I'm not okay. Okay. Shit. Anyway.
So JT, what are your thoughts, man? What are your thoughts? Do you believe that the welfare destroyed the black family?
Yeah, I think it is
Y'all
a
keep talking.
major. Yeah, I think it was a major component to have destroyed the black family in many ways. Definitely, it made us ultimately dependent on the government. Made a lot of people complacent. And now that we can see it now, like in 2026, man, we can see generations of folks that actually were on assistance as a means of survival instead of, the intent wasn't for that. I mean, even for black folks, I don't think that it was even initially for us, So it's shit, man. That shit it is. The government has did a job on. I would say the American people, but specifically the black folks, man. It's bad.
Well, let me add this also. I mean, you're right. It's everybody, but they say when the country has a cold, we have pneumonia.
Yeah.
So the real point really is another point. What I was gonna say, gosh, man, I just had it too. It'll come back to me. It'll come back. I mean, it's just so many different angles to this damn thing, in terms of, today, what's the biggest conversations today? If you're a liberal Democrat, we're still clinging on to these programs. There's a whole bunch of people talking right now today about the fact that they got to work for 20 hours a week to get their Medicaid.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Able-bodied people fighting tooth and nail, and who's behind them? The black women with a bullhorn, the liberals and the socialists in Congress, white or black, and they're fighting to keep people who are able-bodied to not have to work for their handout.
Yeah.
And that's a conversation that's going on right now today.
And
right
that right there shows that it was a job that was paid on. I mean, there was they did a job on us because think about what you were just saying. We at least in those days, black folks were saying that if you was on welfare, that you was
it was a stigma.
It was a stigma that you was lazy or your family was lazy. And now look where we at. People brag about being on
Section 8.
on Section 8 and getting EBT cards and
I'm telling you, man, it's debilitating. And is another reason why guys like Mindani can get in, because people hear this word free and they don't think it ultimately has to get paid by somebody.
Yeah.
And it's crazy shit. And it's a danger to the country. And a lot of people don't realize that.
Mm-hmm.
What hurts me a lot when I see black people, these so-called blackity blacks fighting for shit that we know that's detrimental to the black community, only because some of them are getting paid. It keeps people, the masses, in a certain position of vulnerability and all that. And I'm one of the only guys, and I know you know this, that I think once black women went crazy with Black Girl Magic, that was the last nail in the coffin that we might ever be together again.
I think so too.
When
And
when Black Girl Magic came out, there was no room in there for sons, daughters, husbands. You know,
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
sons, husbands, uncles, anything male was dead.
yeah.
And then Ice T, not Ice T, but Ice Cube, that conference when Ice Cube talked to those black women,
On
it
Fox
was
Soul.
right on Fox Soul. That was kind of a watershed moment that put visual clarity where black women of that kind of ilk was going.
Yeah. That right there, that conversation, I don't think a lot of people I think they glossed over it,
It
man. I
wasn't as
think they
big.
glossed
It
over it.
was you were right. You're right. I know where you're going.
Yeah.
It was a bigger moment than we gave it credit for.
Yeah. And when when they were talking and he was saying that, he had a plan and he kind of laid it out, an overview of what the plan was. And when what's her name? Vivica Fox.
Yeah, Vivica
Was it
Fox.
Vivica Fox? Was she the one? I don't want to put
Lisa Ray was one of them.
Yeah, but the one that said, well, what are you guys going to do for black women? He said, aren't you black? This is for black people. That means that we're not going to do anything specifically for you. This is for black people.
Yeah. And they rejected it. He said, if it doesn't say black women on it, that it's not necessarily for us, for what we're looking for.
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
So, what's going on, Jay Prince? What's happening, man? Let's
what's going on, y'all? Shout out to y'all. What's going on?
What up, though?
What's going on, man? I don't know what happened to Black Man on Filtered, man. He was just around there. What's happening, man? Did you see any of this stuff? And I don't know if you was finished, JT. You got any more?
No, that was it.
Did you see it? Did you see anything that we were talking about?
No, I just got here.
We're talking about, did the welfare system destroy the black family? That's the general topic. So you can answer it, yes or no. What do you think?
Well, yeah. It did destroy the black family, but this is why black men can't never say that they are masculine, or they can't never compare themselves. They try to they be trying to hide up under everybody else's, especially the white man's masculinity, and hide up under his stuff to feel like a man. But really, I mean, you getting hold. You got hold then, and you getting hold now. So yes, the welfare system is nothing but another man. That's almost like if JT got a woman and I come around with more money than JT, I take his bitch. Right? That's basically what the government did. The government gave the black woman more opportunity than you can. He basically he showed the black woman that he's more of a powerful and more financially and protective than the black man. And so we have not met black men who can overpower that since. That's what welfare is.
No, I don't disagree. I would have another take on it, but I think two things could be true at the same time. One of the things is the government, I'll let my man come up later. I'm going to just say this in not rebuttal, but in addition to what you're saying. When they came in with the welfare system also, and this is the one thing I'll give to some women, they had a choice. You had a man making minimum wage or no money at all living in the house. Government came to you and said, listen, I'll give you maybe a couple of dollars less, but that nigga got to go. And the woman says, and the one thing about black men, if we can't work, we're not that good. We're not that favorable to be around if we don't got a job. So the woman said, if I can get almost as much money without this guy in the house, I'm going to take that deal. If I get a check coming in, I don't have to put up with his shit. I don't have to do nothing. You got to get out. And I think a lot of black women took that deal.
And right, think about it. And the black man also did, because the same system that took him out of his home is the same system that he got to go beg and change who he is to get income coming in. You got to go to that same white man for a job opportunity, the same motherfuckers that took you away from your family.
Well, if you were getting a government job, you're doing this private.
All these jobs is theirs.
No, well, not necessarily. No, that's not.
What job not? What job not?
Well, there's people who are entrepreneurs, have their own jobs. They have private enterprise. Like,
they don't get the money from.
There's businesses that don't belong to the government that you.
No, where did these entrepreneurs that had to start from somewhere? So
No,
where they got where did they
I
get
hear
the
what you're
money
saying,
from?
but I'm saying all jobs that a person can work does not belong to the government.
Right.
That's not the system that works.
It does.
No, they don't. No, they don't. That we
So
got
back then, entrepreneurs cost a lot of money to own your own business, right?
It don't have to just be entrepreneurs. There's private businesses that hire people.
He's trying to say by getting loans. He's trying to say by getting loans from the government when you start a
But
business.
he's saying a
But
blanket statement. I'm
This is
saying
America.
all businesses and all jobs don't belong to the government.
right, I agree with you.
This is America's place. This is not niggas. You just live here. You don't got the same rights as
I'm not
them.
as dystopian as you are, man.
What rights do we not have, JP? What rights do we not
Rights
have?
that you don't have. Your rights is basically, it's almost like if I come and let you live in my basement. Right? Yeah, you can use the toilet. You can eat some food and move out the bell.
But what rights do we not have?
All the rules. So if I say, JT, don't you come in my motherfucking house at 5 o'clock in the evening. You gotta be in the house. You got a curfew, right? I make the rules because this is my shit.
Jay
Right?
Prince, let me ask you a question. What rules do we now in 2026 that we don't have that white people have?
You don't have the right to rule. You don't have the right to create your own currency. You don't have the right to create your own military. You don't have the right to create your own damn near curriculum. You don't got your own right to damn near create your own God that look like you. Nobody gonna follow it.
What are we trying to rule?
What are we trying to rule?
You said the right to rule. What do you mean by that?
Rule like the white man rule. You don't got your own police department. You don't got your own court justice.
There are very few people that can rule the world. The average hold on. The average person is not trying to rule the world or countries or nothing like that. For the most part, we all can do we can all move about the way we need to move about. Now, if you don't have the resources, that's one thing. But as far as the rights, we all as Americans have the same rights.
Well, why do black men constantly complain that their rights get violated? And they push up good arguments. They even got video arguments and evidence, and it still get ignored.
What you mean?
Meaning like police brutality. George Zimmerman, right? He wasn't even a cop. Anytime you do something to a white man, you're not gonna have the same consequences.
How long ago? Wait, hold on. How long ago was that with George Zimmerman?
A few years ago, 5 or 10 years ago.
It was way longer than that.
Nothing has changed. We still got shit. Now I'll give you a better example. When you go to court, this is where the rights. You know how white folks is in prison, how they truly is in prison. When you go to court, let's say a white person committed a crime on another white person, they jury gonna be all white. The prosecutor white, the judge white, the lawyer's white, right?
No.
Well, hold on. This is why the statistic is looking like black men is more violent, because most times they get off because they actually amongst their peers. When we take our nigga ass and commit a crime, the jury gonna be white, the judge gonna be white, the prosecutor gonna be white. P. Diddy.
That's not true what you're saying, JP.
But
that's
P.
not
Diddy
true.
nail to get 2 black people on the jury.
Jay Prince, that is not true what you're saying. That is not true. I sat on the jury for a murder trial, and I'm black, and it was a white person that killed another white person. So that's not true what you're saying.
How many black people was it?
Hold on for a second.
It doesn't matter. It just what you're saying. What you're saying. Well,
the whole jury is all
Jay Prince.
one race. That does matter.
No.
Jay Prince, hold on for a second. No, listen. There's a modicum of truth to what he's saying, because there's a case going on right now in Mississippi.
I just about to say that, yup.
So where they're looking at a lot of cases where a guy just got put off of death row, I believe is in Mississippi, because they jerry picked the jury. But it's not universal, but there's a modicum of truth that there's a bias against black people not being on white juries for white people, but for being on black juries for black people. That we're going to be easier on them, and there is some case study for that, but.
Yeah, but that's not the rule for America.
You got to have a great lawyer to make sure that the jury is when you go to voir dire, you got to have a great lawyer to make sure that they don't eliminate all the black.
Yeah, so that is what they consider to be systemic, but it's not to the point of how he's saying it is.
Exclusionary, like
so I mean,
it's even worse than what I'm saying.
That's what I mean by it's not true. Because that is not the America that we're in right now. We are always gonna have some form of prejudice. It's always gonna be that. You ain't gonna never get rid of that shit. But as far as the narrative as we just these weak ass people on this earth is some bullshit. In America, that's some bullshit. You got weak white people, you got weak black people, you got weak people from everywhere. That's in America.
I hate that black folks say that, because when black people say even white people go through this, that's only to excuse of you have to stand up for yourself. Because y'all willing to, as long as you could go around and point out other people, especially white people, go through the similar shit as you, it give you an excuse to be a bitch and not address the issue.
Address what issue,
Jay? The issue is you getting punked, bro. Bro, all you got to do is think about this. Think about this. When you're dealing with a woman, right? They gaslight you and told you that you're a leader. First off, you can't tell that woman what to do. And if you do tell her what to do, she don't have to follow you. Can't you come and close this door? She don't have to follow you, and you raise your voice. And better even putting your hands on you, going to take your ass to jail. I don't care if she bust your head up with a vase or what the bell. She better not get a scratch on her. Now, when it comes to the kids, they say they told you that it take two to tangle. But if you can't afford your kids, what the bell, you go to jail. You get your passport taken, license taken. You don't get the chance to file the kids. You don't get the chance to get the rights to the kids. If she can't afford her kids, she get benefits. She automatically get primary care. Secondly, right?
But what they got to do with black people? That's white people too.
No, hold on. No fault divorces. She get to marry you. Y'all get married, and you got to sacrifice everything that you built, and you don't get shit. She don't sacrifice nothing.
We're not talking about that. That has nothing to do with
I'm explaining to you how you getting whole. You getting
explanation. So your explanation is null and void. We're not talking about that little scenario that you're bringing up. I've heard that scenario that you said before. That is not what we're talking about tonight.
And let's get the beige rage get a little.
It's hard to talk to the nigga that act like a hoe all the time. I think
I swear to God, I kick your ass right now. You come on this panel right now. We ain't in for that. I ain't with that shit tonight, bro.
Hold on. Hey,
I ain't with that. I'm not that shit. I'm not with that shit tonight.
Yeah,
hold on, Jay Prince. Beige rage.
Yeah.
Hey, black man on filter. You did this shit the last time.
Please let this nigga go. Can I kick him, dog? He does this on every panel.
No, I want opposition, but I don't want to make it.
No, but this is not black man. This is not opposition right now, bro. Come on, man. He's tearing up the fucking quality of the fucking show. He's been doing this for the longest. We don't need views. We do not need views that fucking bad, bro.
Jay
This dude do this all the fucking time.
This is his channel as well.
So Jay Prince. So hold on, Jay Prince, because everybody hadn't went yet. The beige rage hadn't gone yet. Beige rage, what's up?
Hey,
hold on, beige. Before you go, beige rage, I want to address something you said. You said that's white people too, in those areas that he was talking about. The point that I think that in that position, what he was talking about, not the welfare thing, but I think that the majority of black men, I think that's another show for another day. We're gonna keep to the welfare thing. So what are your thoughts?
That's deep right there.
Yeah, that's another conversation for another day. But what are your thoughts? Do you think the welfare system destroyed the black family?
Okay. I think it brought the cream to the crop. You know what I mean? I think that in that situation, like, okay, you gotta look at from 1968 when they actually stopped that thing, what you call the man in the house rule. Then they switched it over to where, well, you got to report his income, so black people get it. I think what it did was the I want to say without getting into trouble. Put it like this: the niggas, the ones that just straight want can't just want to live off that shit, that wants to, get their food stamps, stay on their Section 8, pay their $62 a month, and all that. I think that's separate because there was a lot of programs within Section 8 in the government housing where if you was on and y'all and paying all y'all probably know what I'm talking about. When you was on welfare, you could go to school, you could get a job, and then you could work your way to get in a house on these programs. So it helped a lot of black people because I know my cousins, two of them, two females that have kids that work their way to get in that. Where about the man situation, man, I grew up in the projects, bro, in Chicago on the west side. I never really had to see that. I'm living from my experience. I never really seen that where the man couldn't be in the household thing. Because
But
I think
and that's anecdotal because just because you didn't see it doesn't mean it didn't happen. I
I
know
mean,
people. My grandmother is 93 years old, and I know my grandmother for sure said that if you got caught with a man in the house, you lose everything.
but that rule, okay, on that rule now, you could go Google this. On that law, they stopped that in 1968
I'm
on the
looking it up.
King versus Smith.
I pulled
Look
it
on
up.
the King versus Smith. Look it up. That law where they forced you out of the house. What they did was recalibrated it to say if your man lives in the house with you, you have to report his income,
And what
and
happens?
that's what.
And what
And what
happens
happens when you report his income?
when you report the
Well, when you
income? What happens?
okay, when you report his income, it's a scale. Okay, where the scale was, it depends on how much that person make or whatever it was, then they go by the scale what you would pay. And if you're paying like say $64 a month, then in scale go you probably pay 120 or 100,
Yeah, let me
130.
let me answer this to him because he's right. But the truth of the matter is, the scale also meant that at a certain level, a woman lost
Her
her
Section 8.
right. That she lost it. So
She didn't lose it. She just it just got proper.
Let me finish responding. So the 4 years that you're talking about, first of all, there was enough people in that uh, small group of 4 years is enough to permeate through generations. By the way, that's one thing. And then when the man came back in the house, even though they went on a scale, there still was a choice for the woman to say, "I don't want to subject myself to that." Because I like the autonomy of living maybe a little bit less, and I don't have to worry about the scale if I just keep the motherfucker out of the house.
But
So
the
it
ones that
didn't
was on the
it
scale,
didn't mean that all the men rushed back in. It
no,
did.
but
It,
he put, but the
it,
ones that was on the scales got the ones
it
got
didn't
actually
make
got to get out the house
the
and
decision
get a
didn't
house.
make the women accept the men back into their houses all at once.
But a lot of these women wasn't having men's anyway. They was having baby daddies. They wasn't having husbands.
So now you agreeing with me. So that means
No, but I'm saying, but I did say from the beginning that it separated the cream from the crop. Remember, I said that from the.
It's something that you're not saying. So yeah, there were men in the house. The roles changed. They weren't daddies. They was stepdaddies. So a
I don't know
lot of
what you said about that because that's a matter of opinion how you look at that.
no,
Because my I was raised by my father, okay, and he was. I might be. I'm not saying I'm the only one, but in the project where I was at over the lake of Davis,
was raised by either their mama or a stepdaddy.
So
not all the time.
hold on, just for a second. Coach Ferg, welcome to the show tonight, my brother. Good to see you, man. Hey, I want to put this out there because this is what I was reading earlier before
How
we
you
had.
doing? Can you hear me? Can you
Yeah,
hear
go
me?
ahead. Yeah, you
What's
can.
up, Victor?
I
What's up,
want to
man?
put this out there first before I was reading this earlier. In 1960, so we won't go back. All right, we got to go back to the root. 1960, roughly 75 to 80%. Listen to these numbers now. 75 to 80% of black children were born to married parents.
Hold up. That's in our. So let's walk it down slowly. Our pain was born.
Yeah.
Just to make a
Okay.
reference.
Okay. So then now they go here. I'm on Chat GPT. Today, 75% of black births are single parent homes.
Right.
Something happened.
But that's still misleading, right?
No,
because,
it's not. How is it misleading?
Hold on, let me explain. Because in that time, they were born of married families, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you say married, right? So people were, it's like the biblical way of what they were doing. They would get married first, regardless of age, and then they have some ugly ass kids like us, right? They started having our pains of the world. Those children, no, because then he said today they live in a home. See, it was specific then, and today it's vague.
No, it's not vague. It says only 75%
live in a single parent home.
Born in single parent home.
He said live.
No. It says
what's going on?
Okay, what do you mean?
One mic.
Well, hold on. I'm still trying to get rid of wait a minute. Wait a second, man. You said live. If they're only with one parent, I don't care if they're married or not. They live in one home with one parent. 75% of the kids are born in single parent households.
Are raised by a single parent.
Yeah, well, you're making a distinction with no difference.
Because only reason I'm trying to separate it, because again, most children, and this is the misnomer, a lot of young people, although I would say about 50% of Gen X had a father in the home. It was a lot of fathers in the home where I knew guys that I went to school with.
We're talking about right now.
And right now, they're living like that because these women are having. And the only thing I'm saying is these women will get married, have a baby, and then at some point divorce intentionally.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't just that. It wasn't just that, though, Coach Ferg. One of the things that's missing, that's missing is blended families, right? We don't talk about that. So you did have people that were in households with blended families, but it was still counted as a separate household, right? Because it wasn't documented. So it makes if we're looking at the stats, it askew those stats once you start talking about blended families. They're not talking about blended families. So
I think the stat is quite simple. It says 75% of Black kids are living in a single parent household. I don't care if the woman's married or not. If the guy's not in the house, he's not covering the fucking kid 100%.
And we got to be careful who telling us stories. It seems like the white man is backtracking. What I'm saying is, like when Ray's came up here, they reciting these stats. Y'all got to keep in mind, the same people who created this system that destroyed the Black families is the same people that we got to go to for information on what happened.
That's not true.
When I say the same people, I'm talking about the same race of people that didn't have the Black race.
Talking about
Hold on, what's our pain? That didn't have the Black race in their best interest. Their motive was to divide the Black race.
We knew that.
A lot of these sisters come from Black colleges.
Let me finish my point. So I think these numbers is to gaslight Black men, to make Black men feel like he's been lying this whole time and trying to make it seem, because I knew when I grew up, everybody had a stepfather. You had one.
Not
or two.
Everybody.
And you paid attention. Coach Ferg, was you raised by your father?
Yes, mother and father, grandparents.
So
JT,
we was raised with family. And the reason
come on, man, stop it, man. He said dark skin. Stop.
No, hold on. The reason I'm bringing up is because it has a lot of merit to it. Every time the woman got with a Euro phenotype man, she looked at him almost like a trophy. She managed to she'll tolerate a lot of bullshit from him. Every light-skinned person I know, dad was still involved.
Bro, we ain't talking about no goddamn shit that you talking about, Jay Prince. What are you talking about? You keep derailing the goddamn conversation.
Who do you think you is?
You keep derailing the fucking conversation.
You in Detroit, what up?
This nigga keep derailing the fucking conversation. Black man, I understand exactly how this shit goes, bro. We can't even get no motherfucking where because we got motherfuckers that's doing this shit.
Right. So
this shit is crazy.
Hold on.
We talking about fucking dark skin, light skin. Man, come on, man. Some of these niggas they can't be on this fucking panel no more, bro. Come on, bro. We got these goddamn retarded ass people thinking they could be in conversations that we in, and it derails the fucking conversation. I'm tired of these niggas doing this shit.
Hey, now, Jay Prince, let me ask you a question. I have a question, Jay Prince.
Go ahead, he hear you.
I have a question, Jay Prince. I want to make sense of what he's saying, okay? Because I want everybody to have a voice.
Yeah, but I get it, man. But God damn it, black man, listen. This nigga do this shit week after fucking week, panel after fucking panel. We can't even get nowhere because this motherfucker come over and take over panels with his dumbass ideologies. We hear this same shit every fucking week. Every fucking week.
It's not relevant.
Let's get back on the topic.
That shit not relevant what he's talking about. This nigga talking about some bullshit. Yeah. Come on, man. We gotta have some type of integrity when it comes down to this shit. I'm tired of these fuck niggas coming over here and pirating our fucking conversations. Come on, man.
So listen, so let me ask a question. Because I was trying to get the gist of it. This man said,
shut up, man. Go ahead.
So Jay Prince,
why you see let him drop? He's a hater.
Jay Prince, hold on, JP. Don't say nothing to JT. Listen, I'm asking the question.
Yeah, fuck him.
You saying back in the
I guarantee you won't. I guarantee you won't. I guarantee you won't, nigga. I guarantee you won't. That's what I'm talking about. This shit right here. Fuck him. Ban this nigga from any fucking platform. This nigga don't come and don't bring no fucking value at fucking all. And it fucks up our fucking conversation. It fucks up the quality of our shows. These niggas have been doing this shit for too fucking long. We can't do this shit no more. I don't give a fuck. Fuck his voice. Silence this nigga. Die, Jay Prince. I hope you fucking die. Tired of these niggas coming up here. And I gotta, what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna just keep sitting back allowing these fuck niggas to be over here saying whatever the fuck they want to say to me. Fuck that. Drop these fuck niggas when they don't have the right intentions to come up here and have an intelligent conversation with us. They make us look bad, dog. We are talking about something that's plaguing our community. We're in a fucked up situation right now. The last thing people need to see on a fucking global platform is niggas arguing with niggas. And we're trying to do something better for our people. At least start a better conversation. Have better ways on how we talk to one another. We can't do this when you got fuck niggas like this in the way. He's in the fucking way. We've been doing this too many fucking years, bro. This shit is important to me. When I have these conversations with y'all, this shit, he ain't important to me at all. That nigga had time after time after time, platform after platform. He had his own. This should tell you everything about this fuck nigga. His platform has been taken away from him. That nigga is what we're talking about right now. Yes, the motherfucking, when you talk about the motherfucking, when you talk about us being fucked up as a people, he's a product of it. We can't save him.
So let's get back to the conversation. All right. So now we got Peace Murph in the building. We got Trey the Truth Teller in the building tonight, man. Thank you guys for being here, man. We're having a conversation tonight on the welfare system and how it affected us as Black people. Me personally, I heard my boy, what's this, Beige say, that it helped his family. They were able to get a house. I don't believe that. I think all of that is delusion. I think that the welfare system was not created to help Black people elevate anywhere. I don't believe that. I think it was to hold you stagnant. I remember a lot of women saying back in the day, I'm listening to these women talk. They say, girl, I don't know. If I get a raise, I may lose my benefits. I used to hear that, right? I don't know. So Peace Murph, thank you for being here. Trey the Truth Teller, thank you for being here. And Coach Ferg, you too. Beige Rage is back. Let me let him in. All right. So what do you guys think, man? I want to get y'all in here. Welcome to the show, man. I think Trey was here first. Trey, what are your thoughts, man, on did the welfare system destroy the Black family?
I would say yes. It's so many different aspects that actually destroyed the Black family, but the welfare system definitely contributed because the Black woman chose the welfare system over marriage. I think there was a video, like I went down a rabbit hole. I seen a video from the 80s, video from the 70s, and the 60s. And I was like, man, they having these same conversations we having in 2026 back then.
Hell yeah.
Before I was even born. And I was like, man, that's crazy. So, but then I seen one video where, and shout out to everybody on the panel, my bad.
Shout out to you, my brother.
Peace and blessings, brother.
My light-skinned brother, Coach Ferd.
I already had him shaking in his boots, man.
Pete Smurf, you shut up. Ain't nobody talking to you. What's up, Pete Smurf? But
you know it's love. And let's get at the conversation.
I seen a video back in the 80s, and they were asking, I think it was like Night is he always remember that documentary. I forgot the name of the people, but it was a bunch of little girls in the room, and the guy asked.
Oh yeah. I remember what you're talking about.
That's
I remember that. I remember that.
Remember I did one.
You did a show on it.
I did a big one on that one.
Yeah.
The Vanishing Black Family.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Okay. So, and they asked all the girls in the room, would they ask would they marry their baby father or something like that?
Yeah, would they be?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think one of the girls was like, I didn't have my father. And so, like I say, this been going on. And so anytime you don't have a husband and wife, husband and wife, you don't have the nuclear family, it's not a family. And so that just laid the groundwork through COINTELPRO and all the other stuff that was going on. But we seen Black women actually choosing the welfare system over having a husband at that time. Yeah, that 1986 documentary. There you go. Yeah. So women chose that. And me personally, I believe that the system should incentivize married couples versus single women. Because I believe that if they would incentivize married couples in the family, then that would encourage more people to stay married versus, being single and getting assistance from the government. So to answer your question in totality, 100%, it wasn't all of it, but it did have a big part to play.
I appreciate that. Peace,
Black man.
What are your thoughts, Peace Smurf? Oh no, I'm gonna let Peace Smurf go. Then you can go, Brace.
Okay, go ahead.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna blame first the black man, right? And this is why I'm gonna blame the black man. And I can come from y'all premise, and I do agree, but I'm gonna add some emphasis on some principles that I firmly believe in, and I think we're getting back to. So the Bible say, "My people perish from a lack of knowledge," right?
Yep.
Now we look at it as welfare, but it's really a subsidy. And what we didn't do was take that subsidy and use it to our advantage. Farmers use that same subsidy. When they harvest during the the summertime, they get subsidy during the wintertime. Okay, the construction system, guess what? When they work during the major times of the year, they get subsidy when they're off, right? So it never alleviates. What we did was we didn't take it and understand what it was utilized for and use it to our benefit, right? So what we also didn't realize, and I got a question for our Payne, I believe it is, shortly, because he came from that era. When the Great Depression hit, Black people weren't affected like everyone else due to the fact that our money was not in the bank. Exactly. We kept family structure, which is very important. The men, the patriarch in our communities were very strong. So we fed everybody. We worked together. If we had peanut butter, Trey Num had jelly. Even though he's selfish with his jelly, we did share, right? Then JT had the bread. So everybody family ate, right? We all ate from that pot and everybody was happy. They never understood that. So I also want to go, we didn't build our own businesses and then we didn't hand them down. Yes, they came and destroyed the 20 major cities that we built, but guess what? We supposed to kept building. As they tore down, we got so weak with their dealing with their conflicts that we didn't realize going to Vietnam War, going to the other conflicts, World War I, that where we was trying to fight for the ability that we had did during the Confederate and Union War, we supposed to took that and went to the next level, right? Then I'm gonna say,
let me see, men building, allowing, right? We allowed our women to go and use this subsidy and didn't understand it, right? So what we didn't do was stand on the fact that, yo, teaching the next generation, hey, this didn't work for us. This is what you need to do next. Instead, we say, do as we say and not as we do. So we went and pushed education, not realizing we were already educating ourselves in our own system, right? Because now they're pushing this agenda, because their children don't want to do construction. We need the trades. Go out in the trades that they controlled at one point in time, but we always had a handle on those. So we left the farm, we left the unity, the structure. When they tore down what we had, we didn't rebuild, and the united mindset. JT was right. We got to get rid of those rebellious, those rebels, because every time they come and speak, and they don't speak with the intellect needed in order to lead, they bring us back to the point of frustration. And now we see the frustration, and everybody goes back because we're going to allow two men to fight versus get them out of here. I'm going to use this and I'm landing. When God was taking Joseph and Caleb to the next level into the promised land after Moses disobedient and everybody 20 and older, which was a great example for us, he went, him and Caleb was the only two, and everybody that was 19 and younger got into the promised land. He told them to be strong and very courageous. I'm coming down. And he told them to not allow anything to defer you from what you needed to do. That's when Caleb said, anyone that goes against what thus said the Lord, that's talking to Joshua. Wait, Joshua. It's time for them to go. And guess what? They ended up getting in the promised land. I landed.
All right, so and Peace Mark, I want to add something to what you said, man. Thank you again for being here. Thank you for your comment, you and Trey. I'm about to bring you up in just a second. One of the things that really bothered me in reading about the Black structure and how post, I want to say Jim Crow and after Jim Crow, I was reading and it says that Black people after Jim Crow, we owned. Well, let's go back 1910. Let me go back to 1910. It says that Black Americans owned 16 to 18 million acres of farmland in the United States.
Right? Yeah, but
from eminent domain, right? Eminent domain. Black people today, as a whole, own 2 million acres of land.
Shit.
Yeah, but that's because our ancestors didn't do it way more than we do. Sitting on our soft comforted chair. Listen, man, they still was able to keep it together up until, and we talk about welfare. I saw some of the best people come out of welfare.
Be right back.
I always say this, and y'all hear me say it a lot. When they hit that dope in our communities with these single mamas and these boys, it changed the game. Welfare has always been given. I use my own family as an example. Welfare was originally when they knew that people were transitioning. You could take it, get yourself settled. You had a year or two, take your little slow kids, y'all go. The women and the men worked to get to that. I remember my father been working in Louisville Slugger all of my life since I think he told me he got the job in like 72 or something. I don't know, 71 something. But then from there, he's like, man, we got to move. I remember because he talked to me in Result. He said, you remember when we used to stay over here? I was like, yeah, that's when I learned how to play and do all that. He said, yeah, we had a couple of months, a year, and we had to go. So that's why we got the house over here. And he explained to me then we just got another house. And my father had 5 daughters. It was, it wasn't no teenage pregnancy. My sisters were strong. And when said dope hit with the welfare, especially the projects where you had all the innovative stuff that we created. Out of the project, some of the best people, I'm talking about, that's why they started busing us. I know y'all remember when y'all went to school already set up. I think our pain mail graduated. I was bused in the 3rd grade. Went from all Black all the way to high school to mix with the white boys. The white boys didn't call us nigga because we fight white boys. When I was coming up in Kentucky, we fight you. So it wasn't all of that. And brothers still were coming out of high school, getting good jobs, going off into this from the projects, because we talk about it all the time, no matter what state you are. Went to the service, the Cosby Show, the examples was there. And even through welfare, brothers was making a way, we were entrepreneurs in high school. We didn't have our parents guiding us and say, go do this. We were outside doing it on the fly. We would fight this weekend. Me and P. Smurf, after we fight, we the best buddies for our own life. And then we go family. And I'm telling you, I've seen a lot of good people come out of the projects, right? And they had that family unit, because even the old ladies in the project, you couldn't just run through their stuff and disrespect it, because an OG will check you. You could, and the older guys out of high school, they looked at you in high school like a little kid. They tell on you, tell your mama what you're doing. They separated. Once I became out of high school in 1986, I saw the transition. They pushed the dope on me, said, hey, Gen X, after we done gave y'all a couple of years of wood shop, we done gave y'all vocational schools, y'all go out here into the world. Everybody went to college enrollment from HBCU, 300%, colleges all over the country, living, a real world, all that was giving us the light. Then they snuck that dope in them projects. From north to south, I-95, I-10, California, we saw in real time what they was doing to brothers in California. We saw it. And if it wasn't that big, they still highlighted it. They made all the movies, brothers deleting each other. We started seeing in our community, the deletion rate went up 300-400%. I never seen black on black crime. I saw a black on black fight, but I didn't see you so mad at me because I didn't give you $5 that you take me out. We selling drugs to our mamas and sisters. See, when the black man was in the project, it was okay. It was still family. It was still strong. Once they bought that drug in there, y'all mamas went outside. And I'll say this all the time, I'll shut up. From the 80s welfare, it sort of put the black man from standing in front of the door to now he has on the slippers in the house. And these are young men. I ain't talking about no old dude. I'm talking about 18, 19, 20. They so quick to 25, 30. It's like they so quick to destroy everything instead of settling and thinking through the process, because the information is there now. We got so much information. But I'll say it, and this is my last thing. Young people are better than what y'all think. They better than what y'all think. They don't sit around and talk about it no more. They out here to do it. So salute to them, man.
Go ahead, Beige. You were up. Go ahead.
I want to piggyback on what JT said. About bringing people into this conversation that derails conversations and makes us look bad in the light. Like Peace, I think his name is Smurf. Peace Smurf. Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I know a Peace Smurf in Chicago too. But I believe that is true. That's go back to what I was saying about when we was on welfare. It separated those people from people that's trying to actually do something for themselves. Like my man was just saying, there's been a lot of progress and a lot of people that came up out of it. I mean, just look at Painting. He came from that. Look at what he's doing for himself now, because he saw what his struggle did that made him a better man, that's making us better black people to this day. Because you look now, less and less of us are getting on that because we've seen what happened to our people. And go back to what you were saying, black man, when you broke down the numbers and statistics, you broke down the numbers statistic, but there's more behind it. Because like Payne was saying, when America catch a cold, we catch the pneumonia. So during the 70s, when we was actually taking all more of the late 60s and early 70s, the job markets crashed. All them factory jobs that our parents had, they lost them. They were losing their homes. People had to go get on welfare. They had to get on that programs, or they was not going to take care of their kids. So families moved in it. That's why you still had that structure in the family of a household or community. Then turn around, like the man was saying, you had when we try to come up out of it, because there was programs to help us get up out of that. When we try to get up out of that, right, it turned around. You had a Reagan administration with trickle economics, but then they came with the crack era, which took out all our men because then our men was either getting on crack or because we didn't have those jobs that our fathers had. Because Pam, I think you probably grew up on the west side, like I did. A lot of our families, like in the Austin district, all of them had homes, and they was losing. So the young men went out there and started selling these drugs to bring that money back into it. Even though we were putting that poison into our community, but they gave it to us, and then they locked us up with it, and then
So
passed the
But
laws to
that
crack
goes,
down on us
but
and
babe,
left out. Hold on, let me explain real quick. And then they locked us up and took us away from our women, so we couldn't be there to defend them. So now you left the woman there to defend for herself. And now what you expect her to do? Not to take the Section 8 or to be or leave
no,
the
no,
kids
no,
out
no,
there on the
babe,
street.
babe, we got to stop this. We got to stop. We got to stop. We got to stop. We got
thank
to
you.
stop.
Thank you.
We got to stop. We got to stop. That is absolutely 100% bullshit.
Yep.
And I'm telling you that because I love you. That is nowhere near everything. Okay, Peace Mark, you can go first. I know I'm hosting.
So yeah.
You can go first, and then I'll piggyback off of you. And when you finish, go ahead.
So everything you said, first and foremost, I may be that Peach Murphy you're talking about. I'm from K-Town, West Side, Chicago.
Okay.
With that being said, everything you said, you kept saying they gave, right? They did. That's why I blame the men. Because when do us as men say, yo, we're not accepting that. We're not taking that. We're not going to give our women children. It was the men that brought that in there. It was the men that allowed these things to come into play. Because growing up in the hood, when the older men, because I'm I'm maybe the last of Gen X. I'm 48. So when I remember my cousin them going to put in work, what they would do is tell the whole block, y'all go inside. It's men business about to happen. And the women would gather all the kids and take them in the house, right? And we trying to figure out what's going on, what's happening, right? They wouldn't let that be seen. You didn't too often hear the gunshots, but if you did, everybody ducking, right? Because it wasn't like a norm now when you hear it and you like, oh, that's a woo pointed out. So I say that to say it ain't what they allow, it's what we allow.
Oh shit. Y'all
What
good?
happened?
Yeah, we
Y'all
good.
good?
Everybody good? I just seen somebody black out, so I just got
Yeah.
my apology.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, go ahead.
So here go the issue. The issue is this. Us as men have to stop looking at the fact of what they brought to it. Just because someone bring me some leaf don't mean I gotta smoke it, right?
Right.
True that.
So just because they said you can make money off this don't mean I have to do it, right?
True that.
So why we keep making that excuse of that? And this is why I blame the men, right? And there's nothing new under the sun. We always revert back to what everybody else is doing. I'm gonna say that, and then I'm gonna go back to another point Coach Bird said. When they bust you out, Coach Bird, the reason why they bust you out because you was one of the intellect. And if you go and use the principle of Daniel in the Bible, guess what they did? The wise, cunning, and wise of us, they always take out of our community. And what's left? The leaders. The not leaders, right? They always take our leaders out of our community. I was one of those people. And I regret it to this day because I said, dang, I could have made a change, but I went and played basketball up north instead of playing basketball at Orr High School. I land.
Shout out to all. Peace, Mark. Just a correction. I'll be quick. In the southern, I lived in Kentucky, so in those southern sort of states, what I mean by bust, they didn't just take an individual, right?
Yeah.
Like they did you, right? They were taking whole sections.
Exactly.
They took whole sections and put them across town.
And watch this. They took the most intelligent and they
was taking projects.
And they shifted them, right? So watch this. My daughters were very
I guess.
and they could go to any school in the district. The principal begged us, please don't take your children out of the school because it will affect us.
Yeah,
and I said, if you give them the special attention needed to further themselves, we can. I can. Then
I can hear you.
Okay.
What will happen is this. You got to give my children the attention to keep their mental going, right? Because they're surpassing their peers. And if I keep them there, you got to give them special attention.
Yeah, we got you.
So you got to go out and come back in, bro.
Yeah, I got him.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, let me, it's kind of funny. Listen, I think everybody has a variation of the theme of what happened to us back then. I mean, it was a lot of forces that forced us to where we are. So nobody's wrong with what we're saying.
Yep,
I think what we're seeing is since I'm a baby boomer, one of the things is that all the marriages we had, all of the Jim Crow era marriages, we had to be close to each other because it was a protection mechanism, right? There were certain freedoms women didn't have. But the only way we could really protect our women is by having families and them being in this household with us. Our whole Black family in the United States was tethered on those families that came from the greatest, the silent, and the baby boomer generation. And from there, you could start seeing a degradation from all kinds of factors. Through Gen X, through millennials, through Gen X's, millennials, and Gen Zs, and now the alphas. And maybe things are switching back now. But, one of the things I found out, because I used to argue about how people hate baby boomers, and it was 76 million baby boomers. 76 million, the biggest generation ever. One of the things I had to concede was a certain percentage of them were fucked up.
Yeah.
It didn't have to be most of them. It was just enough to make a difference.
Yep.
That's everywhere. So when we talk about women, men, everything, it's not that the majority, like for example, let's say the majority of Black men go to jail. Well, that's not true. It was just enough that went through the prison system to make a difference.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's enough baby boomers to make, but that's not my reality, right? Because I keep the family tree for my family, but I see the degradation because I keep the numbers from my grandmother and grandfather who came in the early 1900s to now 6 generations. I can see how the family has kind of weakened from marriage, illegitimate children, this and that. And the only reason why our illegitimate children in my anecdotal family all had opportunity was because of the families we built as baby boomers and before, because they rested on that. Nobody went hungry. Nobody went uneducated. We had illegitimate kids in my family who went to college. Their parents went to college. So I could see the degradation through the crack era,
I got a question for you, Arpan.
Go ahead.
So my question, because you are bullseye, you are eye view to what was happening. Did you or did you not see the shift of the industrial age that kind of changed our men back at that time?
Well, I think I was born in 1958, so the industrial age was kind of coming to an end, right?
Yeah. Exactly. That's what affects our communities, because at that point, nepotism is going to play priority, right? We're going to get them out of there first.
Well, all of that's true, but here's another thing.
Okay.
We had forces from within the Black community that was longing to integrate. Yeah. So when we were able, when the civil rights era came around, there was a Black flight from Black businesses, we just wanted, if I had any means, I wanted to get the hell away from Black people. And that happened to a lot of Black families. We were dispersed out into the diaspora. And so the doctor who used to be in the neighborhood left. Just like when you mentioned that the smartest people were bused to other schools, and that's why today the Democrats are against voucher programs and a lot of liberals are against because they want to keep the best and finest Black people along with the folks who don't give a fuck about education.
Yeah.
And so that's a remnant of that, because I believe that if you have choice, you're going to make the best choice for your individual family, but you're going to always have people say, well, why don't you stick around and help the others around you? And one of the things I think we have in the Black community is survivor's remorse. Remember that show, Survivor's Remorse?
I was just finished. I binge watched it every series.
Right. So some of us, and I can understand, some of us actually feel bad for our success.
Yep.
Because we can't bring everybody with us.
Yep.
Shout out to LeBron James.
Right.
That was based off his.
Conversation with my daughter all the time because her reality is different than a lot of people in her peer area. And I said, you can't have survivor's remorse. I said, you can, but I want you to understand what you're feeling. I said, your life is not like everybody else's, but that doesn't mean that you need to feel sorry for them because they didn't do what you're doing.
Oh, I got another question for you, Art. Once again, because you was at iView, how did Vietnam War affect you or because I get kind of confused with the baby boomers and the silent generation because I don't know where you were planted. How did that war affect our communities when it comes to the men? Because that was how the drugs were able to come in so easily, right?
I could give you some. First of all, my father fought in the Korean War with one of my uncles.
I always forget that one.
Then my oldest cousin in my generation, after my uncles and stuff, he volunteered for Vietnam. He was a chemical engineer. And even back then, he volunteered. My grandmother cried her ass off because he volunteered. Now, he came out as a major, and we just buried him like a month ago. He was like 76 years old. So it impacted the Black community profoundly because we didn't get those pardons, not pardons where, you were in college and stuff and they could give you deferments. We didn't get those. So they sent our guys out there. Boom, 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 boom. And then, but in the Korean War, my father went. My uncle was, and I didn't know this till he died when I read his obituary. He was like one of those up close sniper guys. So when he came back, he went on drugs instead of going like the GI Bill and this. He came back with a habit, and he never kicked it. And so when I read, he went through a whole life of turmoil. So when I was reading his obituary, because his kids wouldn't read, I said, holy shit, he got this medal, that medal, this. And I said, man, shit,
he still got benefits out there.
I said, I didn't even know it. So it impacted the family profoundly, but we served. This is the key I take from it. Black men have served in the military ever since the Civil War.
Yes.
That's the fact.
Hold on for a minute, fellas. Black man, did you do the super chat yet?
No. I'm about to do it right now.
I'll shut up for that. We can talk about that.
Before I do,
ask you something?
But hold on, before I do, it says 300,000 Black men served in the Vietnam War.
Yeah.
That's what I want to get to.
Thousands of them were killed and wounded. All right. I put in how many were fathers. It just blow your mind. So you lost a lot of fathers and husbands in the Vietnam War, right?
Yeah. They drafted them.
That's why I was going to go after.
And they said Black men were, hold on, let me scroll down a little bit here because I just read that. I said Black men were disproportionately drafted way higher than their counterparts. 300,000 Black men versus 75,000 white men.
Yeah.
See, that's why I was going to attain that.
That's intentional.
That's intentional, brother.
Who else did they draft during that wartime? That was famous. Became the Hall of America.
Of course.
Yeah.
Cool.
People don't know.
Hey, Payne.
Yeah. Good.
How old are you?
I'm 68 as of a couple of
days. Yeah, right. I thought I knew you like 10 years, almost 10 years older than me. But I was going to ask that, but Black man brought that up, and that was a good timing because I was going to say, do you feel like the Vietnam War was racially motivated towards Blacks, why they just drafted us to take us out of our community and away from our people?
Listen, of course. I mean, every bad fucking thing that happens to the United States, if Black people are involved, there's some nefarious shit that goes along with it. And here's what I look at it differently. We survived a lot of fuck shit. I'm sorry for my language.
Truth.
And we don't take enough credit for saying that we're still standing.
Facts.
After all the shit that these guys are trying, especially the grift that we're in right now with our women and all that other shit, we're still here with possibilities of making it. Not me, my time is on the other side, but for young people to need to start thinking different. When I say young, 40, 35 and up, you guys can make a difference. One of the things I think
25.
that has to happen, even younger, I said, one of the things we have to get the albatross off of our neck of the past. I lived that shit, so you don't have to.
Facts.
You don't have to live what that shit was.
But our pain, I want to let me say this. I understand what you're saying, right?
Here we go.
I understand what you're saying, and I am in that 40 category. So I
Yeah,
want to say something to you, right? You can say that comment that you just said and say, hey, listen, we gotta stop focusing on what happened in the past because we went through that, so you don't have to. However, there's a thing that we talked about on this show a few months ago called epigenetics. And epigenetics can be passed. The trauma of one generation can be passed. This is scientific fact.
Yep.
One thing can be passed to another, and if that thing don't get listen to me.
I'm listening. I'm shaking my head. I'm trying to be respectful. I'm sorry, brother.
What I want you to do is, I want you to go read a book. I want you to go read a book, right? Because niggas, if you don't, if what they say about black people,
hide it in the book.
I want you to go read a book called Post-Traumatic Slave Disorder.
Oh Lord Jesus.
I don't know. I want you to, and I want you, and her name is, I think his name is Professor
It's
something.
about a woman.
I need to ask the question, BMU.
But I want you to understand something. There are things that were passed down from one generation to another generation to another generation without correction. Correction.
Okay.
And those people carry this is why, and those people carry those things. Let me give you an example. When I was a kid, my grandfather took me, I was a little boy, I was in the truck with my granddaddy. He went to a tire shop to get his tire fixed. The white man comes out of the tire shop. This is how shit can happen. Now, I'm a horse of a different color, so it didn't work for me. But the white man came out. My grandfather told me, my granddad handed him the money, his head was down. I said, the fuck? So I'm 10, 11 probably. So I say, hey, granddad, what's the problem? He said, listen to me, son, no matter what. It happened to me twice in my life, y'all. My granddad said, you never look a white man in his eyes. I said, okay. My grandmother went to the hospital, took my grandmother for her checkup to the hospital. We got on the elevator. My grandmother told me, hey, be careful how you act on this elevator when white people on here.
That part.
I said, what the fuck? And so as I grew up, I'm thinking, God damn. So what if I was one of those descendants of my grandmother, grandfather, great-great-grandmothers, right?
Yep.
Who were out there in that world, right? And they passing that down to me. What happens when I hold on to that? That will affect me as a person.
Can I respond to what you just said? Can I just respond to it? Because he's talking to me, right? I'm not against epigenetics, but that word wasn't created for black people. There's epigenetic influences for everybody. But let me finish. Let me finish. So you're doing what I did. I'm holding my head and shit like that. But let me finish this. I don't believe we should be living in the past. We should just be informed by it. That's it. So we should be informed by the past. You just showed me a prime example of an epigenetic situation that you stopped in your generation. So those are the kind of things that we just need to do. I mean, I didn't pass down the fact that you don't pass. If you know better, you do better, and that's what we need to do.
But
wait, hold on. Okay, but I don't see where's the argument in that. I'm not going to sit down here and sit my girls down and say, hey, listen, you know what, man? We were 12 years a slave, man. The fucking slave master was banging out all the women, and they did all this. What the fuck do I need to tell them all that shit for?
Right.
I'm just saying. Why do we have to keep harping on the fact that we can't change some of that shit? I mean, what about the future?
Arpain, let me ask you a question.
Yes, please. And then I'm gonna shut up.
I have a great grandmother. Her name was Viola Willer. She was listen, I think she died when she was 101, 102.
Okay.
When you have, and this, I think this is what we're missing, the missing piece. Because I don't think any of y'all talk to those kind of people. that actually experience those things. Hold on. Hold on. So imagine me being a kid, 10, 11, whatever, and she's 103. So 103 years prior to me being 10 years old, she's saying, hey, listen, I got raped. I got beat up. I got hit in the head with a shovel. I watched my sister get drugged from the house down the steps. You see what I'm saying? So when you see these things, and she said she was there when they had to, and you was there probably.
What's the point? She did all that. She's strong as hell.
No, what I'm saying, she said she saw it happen to her sister, saw it happen to other people that was working the turn rows. Right? We in the South, remember? We in the South,
so
remember?
You're 10 years
Y'all
old.
ain't in the South.
So
we in the South.
What benefit did you get out of hearing that story at 10 years old?
Exactly.
I can tell you.
I'm asking you. I mean, what benefit did you get to hearing that story at 10 years old?
Y'all are so inconsiderate.
What it did was it made men like me stronger. It made men like me go past where my grandfather, if he did that, I ain't seen my grandfather do that, but it made me say, I'm not looking down. I'm looking up.
Exactly. Come on.
Be smart. Can I jump in? I just want to
go ahead.
Real quick. This is an interesting way you're looking at it, right? And again, man, I'll say this, man. Those things happen to people way before us, right? Here, it became a point to where most black men that I knew would always challenge white people. When I was a kid, I was going swimming. I was thinking it was like 12. A little white boy called me a ninja, and I swear I slapped him so hard that day. I ain't been called nigga by white boy since. Military, college, police, no experience with.
There you go.
But what I'm saying is, in the South, I guess I can understand the Great Migration then, right? Because it was, our pain alludes to it. It was a group of us that said, we ain't going for this South shit no more. And they all went north. They like, hell no. Chicago, New York, Detroit,
New Jersey.
Here we come.
Right.
And everybody else sort of stopped in between. I guess because my grandmother, she was born and raised in Kentucky. And it goes back to her history. When my grandmother passed in 1972, she left $52,000 cash money to my father and auntie. $52,000 cash. I remember because my father cried on my shoulder like I was his daddy. And I was 6 years old. And it became a time where black men were still, even though they endured a lot of mess, were still putting themselves first for the most part.
So
a lot of the trauma came in the 80s. This is where we stuck it.
So are you guys actually saying that epigenetics is not
real?
That's what I want to hear.
Yeah.
Are you saying that it doesn't exist?
I didn't say that. I just say it's just another albatross to put around our young people's neck.
It's
not. If you know better, you should do it. You can tell them about epigenetics. We can't be. Wait a minute. You can't be trapped by some fucking medical term.
I mean, all of a sudden now we
like people were born.
Arpain, this is what we. This is what we. Hold on, this is what we part ways. Arpain,
it could be real, but we're not trapped by that.
Arpain, where were you raised? Where were you raised?
In the Bronx, Harlem.
I fucking guarantee you, if you came down here during the time you was a child in Mississippi, Louisiana, and Florida, and all these motherfuckers, you wouldn't be saying the same shit. It was a different place. The South and the North was two different places. I don't understand why y'all don't get that shit.
Listen, I could concede what you just said. I could concede that, but it doesn't mean that we didn't have this different kind of struggles up north. It wasn't all lived up. In New York, there was one of the biggest racial murders in the 30s and the 40s, where they were wiping out blacks like crazy. So I'm just trying to say it's not. We didn't have anywhere where we could really escape racism.
Okay, Arpain, it's 2026. Let me share some with you, and I want you to go in front of your computer. You can Google it or Chat GPT right now. It's 2026. In Mississippi right now, and this mother looking for her son in Mississippi right now.
Okay,
they find this man in an unmarked grave. They say they didn't even know who the body was. They found his wallet. Guess what that led to? They went behind the jail and dug up 30 more unmarked graves that was killed by the fucking police that are there right now. Bodies been there for 5 years, 6 years, not 50 years ago, not 100 years ago, and they got the white sheriff, and they got the white sheriff.
Why are you yelling at me about those statistics?
Hold on. They got the white sheriff on audio right now saying to a police officer, he said next time, because the police officer wrongfully shot a black man, he said next time you shoot one of them niggas, you come get us and we'll bury them in the field with the rest of them niggas.
Damn.
All right.
This is 2026.
All right.
Are you understand what I'm telling you?
You're directing that shit at me like I don't believe
that ain't what
going
he
on.
This ain't for you, R-Pain. I'm saying in 2026, they're still finding niggas swinging from trees. They still finding unmarked graves. 2026.
Right. So what are we gonna do with that information?
So we can combat it if we understand what's happening.
Right.
I know it's a guy around the corner shooting. Guess what? I'm gonna tell my people, don't go around the corner because shooting. Exactly. But if I just let you go around the corner unaware and you get shot, why you didn't tell me? You just seen me.
Okay.
Well, I don't dwell on the past. Come on.
No.
I'm saying is
that's not the past.
Okay, so listen, I agree with you. I've never been south until I went to Texarkana for this training program. All I knew about the South was that we had the Ku Klux Klan, and at some time I'm gonna be running around from some guy who wants to chop my dick off. Okay, that's all I knew about the fucking South. And so when I went to Texarkana, and I lived right there on the line between Texas and Arkansas, the first thing I went down there, I met some brothers who knew about the area, and they just say, "Listen, make sure you stay out of the bars with the Confederate flag over every goddamn window," and all that kind of stuff. So that's all I need. I knew racism existed.
Get this super chest right quick.
Listen, I thought Southern racism was the worst. I had the best year of my life, one of the best years of my life down there with the people and the things that were going on, because I knew where not to go, and wherever I was, even if I was the only black person there, maybe I was lucky. But these people act like they saw black people before, because I wasn't too far from Louisiana and I'm in Texas. So I just think you get revelated, but I never thought, but I still went. I wasn't so scared that I wasn't going to go because I had all these stories about the South.
And let me do this super chest real quick. We'll get into that. We got Alexander Bryant, 9875, 499 super chat. Thank you, sir. He said, I agree with JT. We got at 30K UVL at $5. Thank you so much for that super chat. I appreciate you. Salute to you as well.
That's from Trader Truth's channel also, man. 30K.
Yeah, Trader Truth. Make sure y'all go subscribe to Trader Truth as well. I want to say this though. In the South, there was I think our grandparents had that fear. We didn't have that fear. And I remember my grandmother saying to me, if you don't slow down, they're going to end up killing you. I told my grandmother and my grandfather and all them other people, my mom and all of them, I'm not playing with you white folks. And so even in school, when they put all us, we was already, together, but they fucked around at the school and thought it would be a good idea to show Rosewood, the movie, in a mixed school with white and black people. Mm-hmm. And when they showed, I wish my sister was on here with me tonight. She was there with me. We were in the bleachers watching this in the gymnasium together. When they hung that black man in that tree and started shooting his dead body, all the white boys started laughing. And what happened after that, we tore that motherfucking gym up. Right? Because we weren't taking shit off nobody. One day, a dude in a truck almost hit me in my car. And it's a small town I'm from in Louisiana now. And I said, hey, you gonna fucking hit me? My sister in the car, she pregnant. He get out the car, got his little badge on and his civilian clothes. Talking about what you said to me, boy. I said, well, I'm going to whoop your fucking ass right now. My sister, get in the car. He going to kill you, police officer. I don't put up with the shit. To this day, I ain't taking shit off no motherfucker.
None.
Okay, I am not my grandfather. I am not them motherfuckers. But I will tell you, it is also good to know where my grandfather came from, what they went through, what they experienced, all those things that they experienced. You attach an emotion to it because you like, how the fuck were they able to get out of them fucking situations that they was put in?
So BMU, okay, say the men of your era, your time, they came out of high school who had that rebellious spirit after they saw what their ancestors went through, right?
Yeah.
How did they approach the youth coming up? How did they approach that? How did guys start to teach their children? Because even Dr. King said one of the most racist places was Chicago, where we got one of the largest population of black folk.
Yep.
And shout out to all high school people. I worked there for 8 years, man. I love all, man, Pulaski Avenue. But BMU, what I'm saying is, most men that came through that, I didn't see and hear a lot of, whoa, what happened, and not. My father would talk to a white man so crazy. I used to be like looking at him like, you cuss everybody out. My mother didn't. She slapped a white woman before when I was in school. The white woman, she came up there defending me. I was like, so I guess it became a time where, and when we went to those schools, white people was just as docile and nice and friendly, and they didn't want to. It was, I think, the boomers that started. They were fighting, but when I came through high school with them white boys, man, they were some of the nicest people I know. And I was stationed in Fort Hood, Texas. I went to I graduated from Mississippi State, Pascagoula. I was stationed in Fort Polk. The only place that had me nervous was Jasper, Texas.
Yeah,
that was the town where they drug. That was the only place that had me like, I got to get back before the sun goes down.
Yeah. You know what?
Shit, and Jasper, Tempo, Waco.
Yeah, I was all up through her.
And the piggyback on you, the reason why in Chicago, because we turned everything up. We was like a real rebellion. I mean, you was here during the time of Malcolm X. I mean, when they killed King, because King did stay in Chicago one time, we sent it up. And then when the Bulls won, we sent it up. Well, hold on, when George Floyd, our kids sent it up. So we are a generation, even now, you still can go right online today and you see our children fight against the police and their injustice. Even if they wrong, they're gonna stand up and fight. I remember, shout out to being in Fort Polk, because I actually deployed from down there with the 509th. And we trained down there as well back in early 2000s. Anyways, going through Louisiana, I remember seeing the David Duke on the stop signs, right? And I'm wondering, I knew history, right? So I want to see what my uncle mindset is. And I had to be like 13. Who is David Duke? Nephew, that's one of those crackers, as they say, that we fight against. I said, oh, okay, I sit back. Now I understand that we on the same time, me and my uncle. You see what I'm saying? Because now we riding through Louisiana back roads, and ain't nothing back there but swamp. Right, going through Bogalusa, Angie, we back there, Bonato, we back there. So I'm like, okay, I know who I'm with, right? In the sense of what my uncle understands, what he knows. I say that to go back to our pain. The reason why it's important, we don't dwell on it, but it's important to tell the history because it teaches our young children what needs to happen next. If we don't know what happened in the past, how do we know what's going to transpire in the future? That's why they're trying to get rid of Black history, right? Because now, what can you rebel against if you think that you're equal to the people that's in play mentally? When we know there's a system that.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I don't hear no. I don't know no niggas. I don't know no niggas telling the Jews not to celebrate or to think about the Holocaust.
Listen, you guys keep mischaracterizing what I said. I didn't say we should forget about it. That's his my man's thing.
Oh yeah, I got him.
Yeah, I didn't say we shouldn't remember the past. I mean, you keep saying that. I just say that we shouldn't be dwelling. I mean, we should just be informed by the past. And I just like to ask people, when you talk to your kids, do you talk about the fucking past all the time, or do you talk about where they see themselves in the future?
But
I mean, that's what I mean. You keep saying, but I don't. Nobody's telling me. You keep saying I need to know. My fucking kids don't need to know every goddamn bad fucking thing that happened in the past.
Okay, Pain. So they need to know about
I mean,
every.
what do they need? They just need to know about their history. What the fuck?
So
What about the future?
Pain. A lot of niggas do this. So I got a question.
Okay, so do what?
Hold on. Your daughters went to school, right? Your high school, right? Middle school, right? Were you in there telling them that everything that they were learning in history class was a fucking lie?
No.
Oh, my point exactly. So your daughters think that
I was in the school doing that. When they came home, we had conversations, but they didn't. Nobody tried to tell them that the slavery didn't happen. They didn't come home with ignorant shit that said that black people. I told them what I went through.
Take the black people out of it. Take the black people out of it. Your daughters went to school and learned that Christopher Columbus discovered America. They learned that George Washington was
I went to school to learn that shit. They taught me that shit.
And you didn't. And guess how I know that shit's a lie. Let me our pain.
No, listen. I know it was a lie when we talked about. I didn't let my kids believe in Santa Claus. Okay.
But
I didn't let them believe in no bullshit. I'm just saying we know that Christopher Columbus didn't discover shit. There was already people here. Those are the kind of conversations that we had.
Exactly right. So JT, I told JT this years ago, right? Because me and JT been on each other for years. I told JT this and he was laughing his ass off. This was 3-4 years ago.
Okay.
My daughter went to school. This is how you have to keep your kids informed on truth. My daughter went to school and they gave her a project on Christopher Columbus. And when my daughter came home, she said, Daddy, I got a project I got to be done. She started laughing. And she already knew.
She already knew what was about to happen.
She said, I said, who's your project on? She started laughing. She said, Christopher Columbus. I said, absolutely, let's get it done. We went to Walmart, got the little 3-fold little thing, and got all the papers, printed out a picture of Christopher Columbus, ugly, stupid ass. And then we went back home and we drew red arrows all the way around the picture, and then we wrote what his bullet points of who he was as a person. And we put rapist, murderer, pillager, all the way around it. And then we went to school. And they called me and said, sir, we can't display this. I said, why not? It's the truth. I'm not going to tell my daughter that this motherfucker discovered this. He raped in his journal in the Smithsonian. He raped little girls. He was the first trafficker of little girls, selling little 6-year-old, 7-year-old girls into sex slave. You think I'm going to send my daughter to school to believe this man was a hero?
Come on.
Fucked up. So and then she gonna say, well, Mr. Whitfield, she's gonna get a 0. I said, she get a 0, I'm gonna 0 this motherfucker out. So somebody need to explain something to me. She told me, what we can do is just give her somebody else. I said, go ahead. Guess who they gave her? Jack Johnson. I said, oh, you talking about Jack Johnson? And he goes, JT, I know
the real King Kong.
Yeah. I said, so you talking about Jack Johnson, the man who was marrying all y'all white women, and y'all got mad and created a man law to keep men from dating your women and driving them across the line. Then you put him in jail. He didn't fail in jail. He created a wrench, and then he tried to get a patent for the wrench, and y'all named it after him because he was black and call it the monkey wrench.
Monkey wrench.
Y'all talking about that, nigga? And here they go. Don't worry about it. She'll be okay. They don't want you to know nothing. They want you to be dumb. They want you to go by the English book or the history books that they give your kid. My kids already know. Dad, if you tear this shit down,
come on,
bring it home to me.
Come on.
You can't take this nigga nowhere. Not church, not school.
He
gonna flip the table.
I'm not opposed to anything you just said. I'm not opposed to anything that you just said. I'm not. I'm just saying. Listen. You made sure your kids was on the straight and narrow. When I had the opportunity to teach my kids that what was a lie and what wasn't, wasn't faced with projects like that in their school. But still, the point is that when I talk to my kids, I'm asking them, I'm talking to them, and they're not kids anymore. What do they have planned for the future? What do you want to do? Where do you see yourself with the black community? I mean, I just want to say, or whatever's left of the community, where do you see yourself as adults? What do you want to do? What do you want? You want to get married? You want to have kids? You want to do this? You want to do that? I want them to think about how they can impact, change the future as opposed to walking around with this big fucking dead bird around them black that we're black and every fucking body's against us. We are so much more than the color of our skin, but we refuse to say we're Americans. We need America to succeed as a country.
I
mean, we
disagree,
need
RP.
America to succeed as a country, even and above just us succeeding in it as black people.
I
Because
disagree.
if this place fails, we don't got nowhere else to go.
And that's the problem. See, here go the thing. You hear us, but you don't hear us. You see us, but
I think y'all hear me, but y'all don't hear me. So we
heard you loud and clear.
No,
you just say do as I say and not as I do. You just told me do as I say and not as I do, and that's why I don't like the baby boomers.
I'll tell you that. How did I say that?
What we're saying.
Yeah, them boomers. Yeah.
I agree with our pain though.
I didn't tell you what you had to do.
That's okay for you to agree, Coach Ferb, but this is what I'm stating. He is saying that, well, we don't hold this thing around our neck, but yet and still you're holding it around our neck. You putting the yoke on our neck. Because who changed? Watch this. Show me where y'all better from where we at now. I'll wait.
But I'm just trying to say.
Come on, talk to him.
Well, no, he's talking to me, and I'm saying
no. I'm talking to your generation.
Guys.
That includes Coach Ferb. Is he part of it? Now I heard Coach Ferb say.
No, Coach Ferg is he with me.
He a Gen Xer then. Y'all okay? So that's why I say if he's a part of it. Thank you for my correction, JT. That's why I love you, bro, and I love Coach Ferb. So I'm talking to your generation. That's why I say that's why I don't like the baby boomers' attitude towards what we're speaking of. Y'all left us a void, right? Why did the silent generation have more? And y'all come into play, and we have less, and then we got to build from less.
I think the baby boomers left you guys a legacy that you're squandering.
What legacy did y'all leave?
I think the baby boomers left your legacy that you don't want peace.
What?
I want problems always.
Oh, like I said, there were some baby boomers that might have been fucked up, but there's when we leave, the biggest transition of wealth is going to go from baby boomers to their offspring. Well, should be going to their offspring, but I don't know where it's going because there was a lot of crazy ass baby boomers. So I'm just saying, I think you guys in rebellion, have started to just say anything old is fucked up. And if you ain't on our program,
I beg to differ.
I mean, I just think that y'all missed the road.
No, he go. So watch this.
Most young people are still hanging off. They're still hanging off the families and the houses and the things that are left that the baby boomers
did y'all
have left.
Gentrification came through y'all generation.
Come on,
we're inheriting it. So watch this. My uncles own out of one maybe own nothing. My grandfather left land that was left by his father. I got that land.
Okay.
I'm gonna be the one. I got more property. I got the business that they faltered from my grandfather. I got it now, and now it's flourishing. I see where y'all decided to go on, not you, Pain, with all due respect, because I hear what you're saying as far as your teaching of your children. But this is what happened. We inherit the lies. We inherit the inability to sustain. We inherited the weakness of y'all not going against the system continuously. Y'all, we want to blame our women for taking on welfare when it was the men that didn't stand firm to say even this part. Listen, you're gonna accept that welfare, you got to go out of play, because what's happening is we're building legacy here that has to continue on to the next generation. I'm gonna land with this point once again.
Okay.
Y'all ain't shipped no wealth to us, to be quite honest. If anything, y'all dwelled it. Coach Ferg said it. We went from over 200, or I'm sorry if I'm misspeaking. Whoever put the statistic, let me say that, of how much land we had from the silent generation to now our generation. I'm one of those that have a part of that 2 million, and it ain't going nowhere. And I'm making sure because I don't put all things into play. Because the lack of y'all generation,
how could it be the baby boomers
increased in my generation, and I'm gonna make sure I secure it for future generations, and that's a fool.
I know people like to put the blame on the baby boomers, but I would like to see the statistics on how much land we owned when the baby boomers were born.
Hey, look it up.
Hold on for a second. Okay, was it 2 million or was it more than that?
Let me see.
So I'm just trying to say.
I get what our pain is saying, because you got to also understand this too, P. The greatest generation was the ones that had the land. Baby boomers, you got to remember, that's why they call them baby boomers. That's why our pain had preferenced it. The biggest generation ever. It ain't never been a generation. So there's a portion of those baby boomers that was on some fucked up shit, right?
Yep.
But there was the baby boomers, because if you actually look at the age between silent generation and baby boomers, they were still, those older baby boomers who were very close to the silent generation.
I agree.
Right? But the greatest generation, right? Those were the ones that did the migrating and coming up and all these different things. See, a lot of people, those are my great grandparents.
Yep.
So a lot of people have no idea of who their great grandparents is. They never even met a lot of them, never, right? So this is why they would start with baby boomers. Baby boomers is, I gotta say, they getting a lot of flack, and the flack is not actually for them.
Understood.
But the reason being is because they're so big. Baby boomers are so huge, bro, where even when you look at our, like when you're looking at our, that's crazy. Even when you're looking at our statistics, right? Marriage statistics. The only reason why those marriage statistics even look the way that they look is because baby boomers are at it too.
Yep, that's true. That's true.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, and let me say this, Coach. I'm sorry, I keep saying Coach Ferg because I love his vibe.
Coach Ferg is the white guy.
I know you are the baby of the baby boomers.
JT, go back to school.
Because you are my mother's age, and she was the baby of pretty much 12 siblings almost. I say 11 siblings. You feel me? So I purposely, when you told me 60, I said, oh, he my mother's age. So he one of the babies. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, I was at the end of it. Yes.
Yeah, you was at the end of it. So that just shows you how much I pay attention. Just the FYI. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, Tim.
Can I jump in real quick? Listen,
hold on. Before you go, I got something for you two niggas. You, our pain and Coach.
I just want to share my argument why I agree with our pain.
Y'all said that all about the Black history stuff and put this stuff around their kids' necks and blah 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 blah.
Worse the Black history.
So hold on. So one day I was downtown Dallas. I work downtown. So you walking through. There was this, groups of people always come from out of town taking pictures and shit. Well, this lady, black lady, and all these kids, like they from a school, they were taking pictures with a statue. Black lady, kids, mixed kids, white kids, Mexican kids, whatever. And they're taking pictures, and she taking pictures. And I said, I wonder, does she know that that statue is Robert E. Lee? I wonder, does she know she taking a picture with a Confederate soldier named Robert E. Lee? She has no fucking clue.
Nope.
That she's taking a picture with a man who owns slaves, who kills slaves, who raped your women, and you're taking a picture. She had no clue. And you know me? Hey, excuse me, ma'am. I said, you may want to go take a picture with the horses or the cattle statues down there. I said, this is Robert E. Lee. She said, is it? I said, look down. On the bottom of the sign, it's inscripted, Robert E. Lee, Confederate soldier. At the bottom. Now think about this, Arpain. You want black people to look at the future. How can you look at the future when every national hold on. How can you look forward when everything that oppressed you still has statues? You still got the fucking statue. What's the name of the big? You got Mount Rushmore. You got Robert E. Lee. You got Stonewall Jackson. Especially in Louisiana.
You guys were being willfully ignorant because I said you just need to be informed by the past. Like, you have to be informed by the past, but you don't make it your future. Listen, I don't want my kids going around arguing that the Robert E. Lee statue still exists. What the fuck are you going to waste their time for that for?
If your daughter came home,
I just know my kids wouldn't be taking a picture with it because they know about it.
How when they don't know about it?
That's not true, though.
Don't tell the kids about the statue down. So don't tell the kids about the past. Oh, they don't need to know everything.
You know what I'm telling you. They don't know about the past. You keep saying that.
See, this is why I love when I was in Peace Murphys. Just because you say, "Oh man," I loved Orr High School, man. When I was at Orr, I got the opportunity to sort of approach it how BMU is talking about it. They had to know in America's schools, since we've been going to schools, they only understood us to be great. I mean, from slavery. They didn't show us being kings and queens in our country. They didn't show us the goodness of us. So when I was in the opportunity to say, hey, the past, I knew the past because I was born 2 months after Dr. King. So my 70s was Dr. King and, you know what I'm saying, Malcolm X. So I pushed through that. Then in the early 80s with the rapper plan, that was, I still got that in my play rotation today. So when I started working with young minds about the worst of our history, I used to tell them, despite what they see, because they were being taught in these classes, say, hey, well, yes, that could be partially true in America. However, I let documentaries speak before me. One thing I know that worked great and fast when I can get some teenagers, male, females in a room and let the videos play and just break those videos down. Talked about the behavior patterns, how things once were and how things sort of elevated and the events that caused the elevation. And seeing that from a point of view outside of my own personal view, that began to do a great job in changing the mindset for the future, like Arpain said, because I would use that and say, now, see, they expect for you to be this way. However, you're in a position to get the information right now that I wasn't privy to. I wasn't. So use this to be smarter and not be in fear of living amongst white people. You have to take control of it. You cannot live in fear of it forever.
I don't fear nobody. But I will say this. And I want to speak from the place where I'm from. All right, Louisiana. In Louisiana, there are little small towns. One school here, 20 miles down the road, it's another school in a whole another parish, so on and so forth. New Orleans, especially, when you ask a middle school child to this day, hey, what middle school you go to? I go to Robert E. Lee Middle School. I go to John Bell Hood Elementary. All these are Confederate soldiers with their statues outside. And the kids are going to schools, black kids, all black kids. This is all black schools. And they're going to Confederate named schools.
Yep.
I'm just, bro.
They just had what? They just had what? 16 years of a black mayor, and all she was doing was fucking the police chief. How come she didn't change the name of the school?
Built another school and changed the name. She could have did all of
How come she didn't make it an issue of changing the names of the
school? So do you go through the Smithsonian? Do you go through the Smithsonian to do changes or stuff like that?
No. The state has to be involved in changing anything because it's a government entity. The school is a government entity. So it has to be a government vote to change a government entity's name.
They need every vote needs a champion.
But it could have been the community.
Somebody needs to champion the legislation. It wasn't on top of her priority list. She was banging the police chief. In line.
Arpain, tell me this, Arpain. What's the most famous college in Mississippi?
I don't know. I don't.
Is it Jackson?
I don't know. Jackson, Mississippi, Fisk, Fall, something.
Jackson State.
Jackson State University.
Jackson State.
In Mississippi.
Mississippi.
Ole Miss. What is there? What flag is flying over the game every Saturday?
Confederate.
I know the coach just said there was an issue with that. I can think, and a recruit. Hey, but you know what? Still a lot of black players went through Ole Miss.
But watch this. I can say look at the change in BMU, the Confederate flag. That is something missing in that flag, right? That flag once was a flag that wasn't contingent of that system. They took it and changed it, just like the swastika, right?
Yeah.
The swastika used to be priest. It used to be priest.
You see what I'm saying? So when you know history, then you can go a little bit further, and that's why it's important, Elder Arpain. You get where I'm coming from?
No, but I get where Arpain. But this is where Arpain. Let me kind of like try to bridge the gap.
Come on, Mandrill.
Right. I was just watching some shit on Mandrill last too, man. This is the thing. I think it's how that information of the past is disseminated. A lot of times, BMU is motherfuckers that don't know what the fuck they talking about the past.
Yep.
And what they do is they give this information with their emotions to the next generation to the point where the information is all fucking wrong. And so what they do is they will borrow that information that they got, and then they take their information and then start spewing it out there as if it is, if it's true. Yep. And what happens is that information that they have with the omission of what facts are, what it happens to do is it keeps a person's mindset oppressed. And the only thing that they're focused on is what happened in the past, instead of saying this is where we are now in the present so we can make our future better. That's where it gets to a point where I understand exactly when our pain is saying, hold on, because we have too many people for generations that just stay stuck in the past. And this the craziest part, BMU, it's a past that they ain't even lived.
Right.
You get it? So we have to bridge the gap. So it's the way that we disseminate that information to them is what I think that it should be. Because a lot of this, we already said it. A lot of this shit is lies. A lot of this shit is omission. It's a lot that's going on. So when we do have these type of, man, I learned so much from just being on these panels with dudes that know everything about, the Bible, everything about history, certain parts of history, whether it's the industrial, agriculture, you know what I'm saying? Spiritual, all these different things we learn from one another. I think that that's how it should have been done in the past. But look, we learning now, you know what I'm saying? But I still kind of like, I'm right there with both of y'all. I understand exactly where that shit can get really, really sticky. And we've seen what it has done to our, to our people.
And let me say these two. Let me add this too, because one of the things that make me cringe when I hear people say this shit, I be want to punch them in their mouth. When I hear people say, well, black people don't have no I promise you, I heard a white dude say, I was gonna slap him. I was gonna make that motherfucker taste the ancestors.
Yeah.
He said, black people don't have no generational wealth, and black people don't have nothing passed down to them. They don't have no money, and they need to stop asking the government for everything and pull themselves up by the bootstraps. I promise you, I was 2 seconds off his motherfucking ass. But then I said, because, I have a bad temper when it comes to that bullshit.
Yeah, because he's an outsider.
Right. And so what I said to him was, maybe if you go get your uncles and dig up your dead granddaddy and have them motherfuckers drain out all the rivers that you flooded our towns in and go back and rebuild Tulsa, go to Georgia and take Lanier Lake and drain that bitch and see the damn houses still under the water, and go over here to South Carolina and drain that place, go to Mississippi to the Devil's Punch Bowl and drain.
Watch this. Go to New York Central Park.
Yeah, go to Central Park and give that back to the black people that y'all said it was eminent domain because y'all needed a fucking park, and give black people back their wealth. Can you imagine? I just want somebody to imagine this for a second. If all these towns, it's 30, 40 towns that were flooded and eminent domain where they took this shit from black people. Can you imagine that black people had their own stores, their own schools, their own hospital, their own clinic? They had their own movie theater, their own bowling alleys. They had their own clothing stores. They had everything they needed. They didn't ask the white people for shit. And the white people said, fuck that shit. Burn that bitch down to the ground. They're not finna live better than us.
Yeah, even in Chicago, we had Bronzeville.
Can you imagine?
We had our own and one of the biggest, I want to say roller coaster theme parks in Chicago. They literally tore it down in Bronzeville. They literally tore it down, right? And then segregated our people throughout the city at that point.
So again, it goes back to
my question to you in Art Pain is this. Can you imagine those 600, 700 people that were in Tulsa passed those businesses down and grew those businesses over the last, 80, 90 years? and passed it down to their people, what would the wealth look like in that community?
We would have surpassed them. We went in 20 years coming from being enslaved.
Okay, are you asking me a question, or are you just making a statement?
I'm asking you and Coach.
Go ahead, you go.
See, I can't stand to be the bad guy in this shit. You know what?
Be the bad guy. I'm gonna be on your ass.
I think we the bad guy. Come on, Arpe, let's own it. You good? Stick. We owning it. We good.
I'm just telling you, Tulsa was fucked up, man. It was, and all the lakes and all the rivers and all the fucked up shit white people have done to us was it fucked up. And for all of that shit, I say to all of you guys, there's no fucking way these people could repay us for what they've done.
We don't want them to
what
pay.
they've done.
Leave us alone to give us our land.
Know what they're capable of doing. They could slaughter themselves by the millions. You know they don't give a fuck about us. So the point really is, how do we navigate from where we are, because we're still standing, knowing what they did in the past? How do we navigate into the future where we can steal ourselves from those same vulnerabilities that fucked us up in the past? And I'm just trying to say, we don't talk about that shit at all. We just keep talking about
we're talking about now, right?
And all of that shit, man. How do we navigate into the future, man?
So we're talking
about Nobody
talks about that.
Hold on, Arpain.
When you say
we're gonna go back there, you're gonna keep telling me how fucked up I am. I don't know about
you killing me. Hold on, Arpain. You and Coach Ferg are talking about putting shoes on a generation that's fucking broken. Nigga, these white. Hold on.
What the fuck is telling them about fucking Tulsa?
Listen, hold on, listen. These white, but listen, Arpain, listen to this though. So let's take Tulsa out. But look what happened to Tulsa. They lost all their businesses. They lost all their money.
That was in the 1930s.
No, but think about it. Hold on, Coach Ferg. There are white businesses that didn't get bombed in 1930 that their fucking great-great-grandkids right now are still running, making millions of dollars. And they're hiring
I agree with that.
Other than just knowing what you just said, what the fuck are we going to do about that now?
Ain't shit you can do about it now.
That's a lie. That's a lie, BMU.
No, sir. You'll never be able to catch that fucking. You'll never be able to catch that gap. You'll never be able to.
But it ain't. But see, it ain't about. To me, it's not about bridging the gap, right? Because again, let's just say that's why we the most modern and softest generations. But however, right? We talk like we ruling the world, but look at the reality. Despite whatever level they started, they built a level of wealth. They built something that can be unmatched. And America knew it so much, so they destroyed it, right? So we came along after that. This is before my father was born when all of this happened, right? And again, here we are now. We armed with way more information. We armed with way, and the younger guys are a lot more stronger and vocal. So at some point, everybody from 21 to 61, 71 go have to find a way to stand together and say, we need to change, because here's the problem. Not a lot of black men get in positions in these state offices, in these governor's office. They put a woman up there so the woman can tell you, black men, not when I say you, I mean us, black men, we ain't gonna vote for change about how laws can prevent black men out of jobs and getting these loans for these businesses. We ain't gonna do that. And that's one of the problems, because most black men, once we all went through the numbers, they've been going through the numbers for 2 years. What? Less than 1 million out of what? 10 million, maybe less than that, are even involved with the penal system. Most black men are regular, hardworking dudes.
Yeah, so, it's only, I mean, overall, it's only 1 million point something people in America that's in prison. Yeah, so, you take, it is what it is when it comes down to that part. But the thing,
entertainment.
Yeah, but the thing is that even though the closer and the more we get into this integration thing, it's not just, that's why I said it's not just, we've always been the canaries in the coal mine, right? But when you look at what's happening now, even though Coach Ferg, you said that these young men are more vocal, but it's still like a conundrum we in because they're not as educated, right? They have no idea of what the past is about. They have no history. They don't know shit about history. They even got it to a point where math is done so at a point where they don't even know what the fuck how they even got to the problems, right? They don't know geographic shit. They don't understand. They're not involved into politics. And one of the reasons is because we still have people that's our age and older telling motherfuckers not to fucking vote. That's the dumbest shit in the world, to tell a motherfucker not to be involved.
So to piggyback on you, I'm gonna cut your wisdom, JT. And my
Peace Murph, real quick, because this is itching me. Okay, this is itching me. Okay, and I'm gonna let you have it, Peace Murph, but it's itching me. I just looked this shit up on ChatGPT. It says the median. It's Peace Murph.
He get it clear. He get it cleared up.
It says the median white household has substantially more wealth than the median black household. Watch this. Researchers have found 76% of white wealth has come from inheritance and intergenerational transfers.
Yes.
Get the fuck out of here. So you mean to tell so now y'all saying what we're gonna do about it? Have these white motherfuckers that's driving these fucking Bentleys and living in these fucking $4 million houses got that shit from their granddaddy. Their granddaddy got it from his daddy, and his daddy got it from his. It says 78% of their wealth came from inheritance and intergenerational transfers.
Nobody's arguing that. But nobody's arguing. Nobody is arguing that.
You will never be.
Nobody's. I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Don't need to close
arguing that. Nobody's.
One thing my granddaddy said: "Them motherfuckers will never give you enough money to be their neighbors."
What the fuck does that have to do with where we are right now,
bro? What you think, nigga?
I'm talking about what are we gonna do about the fact that they got generational wealth and we're trying to do it, right?
How can we get it?
Hold on, I got the solution.
Go together.
I have a solution. I have a solution, not this. We start with where we are. My grandfather left me an inheritance. That means I felt, and from what I understand, that's supposed to be biblical, right? Leaving the fucking inheritance generations down.
That is.
Right? And so that made me feel like shit, man. One way, shape, form, or the fashion, I'm going to leave an inheritance to somebody, my kids and whatever else. But in between time, I have a cadre of my family that I sit down and I manage I don't manage because I'm not licensed. I help them build their portfolios, financial portfolios, stocks, bonds, every fucking thing, right? And that's my contribution to people across the generations of my family, right? And anybody else who wants to join. I try to say, this is what you need to be doing. So I'm not building generational wealth. I can't stand that term, but I know that if I could get somebody who's 18 years old to start investing, as opposed to when I started really in earnest at 38 or some shit like that, they're going to be in infinitely better position by the time they reach 38. That's the contribution that we give back. You build enough people, somebody's going to hit it. You know that I got a stock. I had a stock. I'm going to just say this, I'm going to land it. Because I didn't. I'm gonna just say this. I got a stock that's up 50,000%. 50,000%. I had 8,000 shares, and like an asshole, it came out of the pennies, believe it or not. And I sold a lot of that shit when I was coming up, kids going through college and shit. It's at $150 right now. If I'd have just kept my 8,000 shares, I probably wouldn't be on Monday's show with Black Motherfucking Man and Filters. I'll be saying, this is Black Man and Filters. You need a loan, motherfucker.
But see, you did with the wealth.
That's what I would have been doing.
But see, that's what the wealth was for. That's what the wealth was for, Arpay. It was set aside for that time.
Yeah.
Right? That's what God tells you to set aside for the times where it's needed, in order for you to invest into that future. Right. So what you did was you stated, see, I'm listening. You stated and showed exactly what I'm talking about that's needed, right? You gave the knowledge because remember, the knowledge is wealth. God didn't say my people. He told us we're poor people physically, but we're wealthy, rich people by bloodline because our connection to him. So with that being said, that's the most important part. I did the same thing. I took the wealth that I built while I was, or the riches that I built while I was in the military, and transitioned them into the civilian life, and I still dwell off of them to this day. Without them, how can I build my own businesses and grow what I needed? How do I give what's needed to my children? Now I put those things into assets where they can make them and put them into those things that are going to be useful to them. Because it's not about sitting on the money. That money, the paper dollar ain't going to be worth nothing in a minute, right? What we're going to go into is we're going to go into the knowledge that's in Coach Ferb head, that's in BMU head, and we're trying to pick everything that we can from you before you decide to rest. You get what I'm coming? Because remember, he say after 70 is by your strength. You get what I'm coming? He gives you 70 years, 3.5 score. Anything after that is by your strength, right?
That's it.
So when you decide to say, I'm done with this, I'm tired, God is going to comprehend to. If you say, no, I'm going to go on for 20 more years and make this thing rock, I'm with you. You see what I'm saying? So when we're saying, and to answer this question, I'm about the land. What are we going to do about it is this. After we had this conversation, take it, roll it up, and put it to work, right? Take it, roll it up, and put it to work. As we come together, more and more of our tribe getting together. Now I can hook up with BMU. BMU, yo, what you got going on, man? I got this going into play. Let's connect it together. And we're the generation where I'm networking, right? Once again, I'm blessing the people around me. I only deal with Black businesses. I'm feeding Black business. My wife just created her own for-profit, non-for-profit, Just Greens. We're feeding the community. I can take you out to my garden right now. Her brother came, which is in the building with us, and asked my wife, he said, funny, madam, may I have some lettuce? We went to the garden. Here goes some beets. Here goes some lettuce. Hold on, what else? We got some basil. I got basil plants. I wish I was in Chicago. I got cilantro plants. Guess what? That's it. I'm taking it and I'm feeding other people. And I ain't doing this for pub. I'm doing it flowers. I'm telling the ladies, let me come and garden in your garden because I got so much food that we can turn it into more. Potatoes. I got bags of potatoes, I say that to say we putting it to work. Because when the system sat down, our pain, I got them acres of land. I can take it from my backyard and transition it right to them acres and feed my people. And I can determine at that point, no, you cannot come on this premise unless you part of this family. Now I can feed BMU family. BMU, can you send some of your people down to work this part? And I'm gonna send some baskets because that's what's gonna matter in the end: shelter, food, and protection.
That's true.
And guess what? And all these young people they say running the world right now, when this shit shut down that we're doing right now, I'm telling you right now, electricity can go off for 14 fucking days. These niggas would kill themselves. And they don't know how to plant. They don't know how to hunt. They don't know how to skin a goddamn animal. None of that. When I grew up, my granddad said, this is how you gut a rabbit. This is how you gut a squirrel. This, you cut him here. You cut this off. This is how you do a turtle. This is how you find water in the well. All type of shit. When I grew up, these little young kids now, that Coach Ferg talking about, these niggas have no clue when the world go to shit.
But BMU.
Let's just stick on one point though that was said about generational wealth. It's got to start somewhere.
Facts.
If it, and let's also say that even though it's not in abundance like white people, there are Black families with generational wealth.
Facts.
2%.
There are Black families with generational.
I was waiting on you to say that.
Okay, wait, are you going to deny that?
2% versus 75.
But BMU, I agree. You know what I'm saying? The wealth is greatly disproportionate, right?
Right.
All of those things are true, right? So we can't deny that. But this is why I agree with our pain, right? Over the last 40 years, right, we've been the most informed, but we've been the most divided ever. So, and you're in the driver's seat. you're that first tier elder, right? Because that 40-year-old third eye is coming on. I can see it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it makes you madder and madder because you're looking at your young, talented children and seeing what they faced in the world, right?
Yep.
And this is why I speak to brothers like R. Payne and P. Smurf. You're actually doing it now.
Mm-hmm.
The younger, that 16, 17, they are hungry for information to say I can be who I want to be and be greater than what my conditions are. It's okay to show, hey, look at slavery. Look how they treated us. Look how they said you were less than. But also, listen, starting tomorrow, we are no longer slaves, mentally or physically. We're no longer slaves. And it ain't gonna be a quick turnaround. But again, I think it's always a space for people to have that voice. The BM, the passion you just showed here. Try to get 10 boys together and give them that same passion about what happened. But find some documentaries, you break it down.
Mm-hmm.
And when you explain it to them, let them know this is already passed.
Yep.
So going forward, y'all can go here. And it starts today by being a little bit more disciplined. You're not going to move like we used to. We going to stand up. We're going to work on our interpersonal, that psycho-emotional, owning integrity, breaking the definitions down, practicing how to demonstrate it, accountability, having a positive anger expression. Instead of going punching holes in the wall, go box, go do some push-ups, go run, go find some ass, just throw some crazy shit. But then when it comes to information, use the information to ensure that you're going to be on the resourceful side of it. And a lot of people don't send that message to say, hey, this is the condition you started in. However, you want the big car, the big house, the big ride, all that, the girls. There are certain steps you must take. You can't wait till you're 35 and say, I'm going to take them. The earlier you take them, the greater success you would have early, but also you would have the strength and the, I guess to say discernment, the words we use on YouTube, and the ability to bypass those distractions, to not get caught up in the drugs, to not get caught up in the gangs, to not let people take advantage of you, tell you that you're less than, you'll be able to address them head on. And that's sort of the approach that I took, because most people already understand that they're in a bad place. So if I'm in a bad living condition, I ain't gonna bring you all the way down to the slave master, slap you on the back and say, yeah, no, this happened. However, today, tomorrow, when I say you, just in the individual I'm talking to, we're going to be a better way. And I'm going to make sure that I follow up with you to make sure that we are checking in with that steps that we have discussed that were ordained.
Now, before anybody else say anything, we get these super chats. All right, we got Papa Smurf for State 999 super chat. He say blessings to the panel and chat, man. I appreciate you so much for the 999 super chat. Then we got the lunatic. The lunatic libertarian 499. He said true wealth has nothing to do with money. There are the creators and controllers of all the systems of society. Stop participating. Create your own.
Let's go.
Thank you for that. He also said generational knowledge, intangible skill sets. That is very much a mentality. Now, I wanted to say this too. Now, when JT said something earlier, I wanted to wait till he got back to say this. So my oldest is 23. My son is 19. He's about to be 19 on June the 7th. When voting comes back around, we talk about these things. And JT, a lot of their friends and the people their age that I know, these kids that grew up with my babies, they say they're not voting for shit. Now, let me tell you why. My daughter said, why we're voting? She said, Dad, let me tell you what I found. She said, because then they always throw shit back at me that I taught them as a kid.
Yeah.
Right. I should have shut up about a lot of shit because they be bringing it back to me.
You be doing Peter shit. Ain't that Peter that be talking like that?
Yes. He said, but she said, Daddy, didn't you tell us if we to always be aware of our surroundings, and if we not, we will remain ignorant? I said, yep. She said, well, I'm gonna talk to you something about voting. She said, I'm gonna teach you something today. I said, okay. I said, now whatever you think you finna say, I probably already know. She said, do you know, Daddy, that the majority of people that's on Congress, Senate, who we voting for, and do you know 30 of the last presidents were all in the same fraternity or sorority if they females, and they hang out together and they friends?
Yep.
And I said, yeah. I said, well, I know that. She said, She said, let me finish. She said, do you know?
This the one that just graduated?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
She said, do you know? She said, do you? No, not the one just graduated. She's 17. She about to go to college. Hey, she gonna go to college. Anyway, so more dollar signs, but less. I think she's gonna get a job. But anyway, they said that the reason that she said everything that they're doing is performative. I said, why do you say that? She said, because think about it. You vote for the president, but nothing counts but the
electoral votes
and the popular vote. I said, oh, okay. And she said, who's in those things? The same people that's in those fraternities.
Yep.
She said when George Bush and ran against what's his name? John Kerry.
No, not I know who, because he conceded to him, but he was a Democrat.
Yeah, she said, Dad, don't you know both of them were in the same class and they both was in Skull and Bones together?
Yep.
I said, really? She said, they brothers, they blood brothers, according to the fraternity.
Yep.
She said, all of it is performative. She said, nothing matters but the popular vote, the electoral vote. And she said, and black people have been voting for the last 100 years. And what change have we seen for black people as a whole? She said, I'm just asking these questions. And she said, because all my friends said they're not voting for nothing. They're not voting. She said, it's going to be the generation of nobody voting.
Well, this is the craziest thing. That's not an answer. This is why I say it's not an answer. And I think we just need to talk to the young folks, but we need to get our shit together as the elders, right?
Yep.
This is the thing. When we're talking about it, and we say all these things are performative and things like that, man, we talking about hundreds of years of the same fucking practice, right? One of the things that I do understand about black folks, because I'm one of them, is because we are the most resilient, right? We the most resilient. We just don't use our power. Infiltration is what we need to be doing right now. We cannot sit back and act like while being fucking U.S. citizens that we're not U.S. fucking citizens. We need to get more of our young folks involved in politics. We need to get our young folks more involved into understanding what currency is. We need to get our young folks more involved. The things that we can get them more involved in. Now, this goes to our pains point. A lot of things that they do when it comes down to us telling them about history, they still have a defeatist mindset.
Why?
Because they haven't understood that infiltration is the biggest key. You take what the fuck you want.
There you go.
You don't ask. And we've had generation after generation after generation of motherfuckers asking. The thing is this, when you take it, you have to be what? Mindful. You got to be intelligent. You have to understand what the history is so you can understand how to move in your present so you can make your fucking future better. What they said, BMU, guess what? My kids say the same thing. I got my youngest daughter. She thinks she's the smartest motherfucker out here. She pisses me the fuck off. That college shit, man, I ain't gonna lie. That college shit, man, this shit pisses me the fuck off because they get so much. Hold on, P.
No, go ahead.
They get so much. They get information, but they don't know how to use it yet. So the thing is, BMU, when she's talking to you, right? Like you said, and I just call it, you do the Peter shit. You know what I'm saying? I know who Peter is. And in the shit, they will use our shit against us.
Yeah, we are.
And
they would use it against us. Right. They should, because it makes us better people, right? Because now we got to think about it.
That's it. And that's why you got to stay. I know I'm cutting your wisdom, JT.
No, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Boy.
Go ahead.
You just got so many things popping. So the Bible says the child is equivalent of a father, right?
Yeah.
So watch this. See, this is how I got my daughter them when it came to voting. I say, Pooh, you still vote, but let me show you how to vote. You got to be tactful, right? That was that's why when I got into leadership, I can show you my evaluation. I got all superiors. And the reason why I got you don't get all superiors in leadership evaluation. Everyone knows that.
Right.
But I was so tactful in my thinking. I say, this is how you do it. Let's look at the structure of everything. What affects you immediately? Local, right? So let's deal with our local voting. How do you deal, and who affects you first? And you affect them and take their job. That's how you get to the next step. So you go from the alderman to the mayor, from the mayor to the governor, right? From the governor to Senate, the House of Representatives, on this level in the state, because each state is its own king, whether you believe it or not. So I say, one, instead of us voting for those parties, look on that casting. Ain't it something at the bottom where it says you can write in? Now, you can still be counted as a number. And if you get the right number, a community, a ward, I can control that number when it comes to that pinpoint. So I can write that person in, whether I'm on the Democratic Party, whether I'm on the Republican Party, because they only give you two choices ultimately. And I laugh at them. I say, well, it don't matter. I'm going to write in whatever I want on every go round. Today, I'm going to do Democrat. Tomorrow, I'm going to do Republican. Either way it go, I'm writing my name in if nobody on there that I won't see it. Right? Now, we don't use that one box. We can control that whole party in that area if we utilize that one box.
But now, this is one thing.
Go ahead.
Hold on, P. This is one thing that we don't ever, and I'm about to take this shit a little bit further.
Hold on. Before you get the super chat.
Oh, go ahead.
All right, you got the lunatic libertarian again. He says most candidates that are trying to truly change the systems in place are sued off the ballot. Their signatures are nullified and their campaigns are crushed before they even start. He's absolutely correct. And JT, before you cook, guess who this just texted me?
Who that?
My daughter. She's watching. Hey, baby girl.
That's what's up.
She said, she said, don't misconstrue my words, Professor. She said, she said, tell them this, give them these numbers. And this is what the numbers say. 91, 83, 82, 87, 86, 91, 74, 75, 66, 86, and 76. She said, can ask anybody on the panel, do they know what those numbers mean?
And no. And that's dope as fuck. That's dope as fuck.
Y'all ready?
Shoot.
She said those are the ages of the oldest voting House members that's still in Congress right now.
Yes, that's where I'm about to go to. Let
me finish. She said, so these are the people. The oldest one is born in 1933. One's born in 1934. One's born in 1945. These people were around at the height of the civil rights movement. They were not on the side of black people, and they're still making decisions on behalf of black people.
She on her motherfucking job.
Yeah. And that's
she
how
on her
you
motherfucking job. Now, right now. So, but this is the no. She's a one-off.
Wait, hold on, JT.
She's a one-off.
I got some in my.
I'm just saying they're one-offs, bro. Trust me when I tell you.
No.
My thing is this: there needs to be a space where, at some point, us as black folks have to sit back and say, "Listen, I need y'all to vote for my niece, my daughter, my nephew, because they're running for justice. They're running for legislation, Congress, Senate. Infiltration is what we need because we've seen that the system has always been fucked up. We need to have the infiltration of us in there, right? We need to have, at some point, we need to be on these platforms and we saying, listen, I got my nephew running for Congress, my son running for justice, right? I got somebody else who go. And at some point we'll say, on the executive level, I need y'all to go ahead and start voting for such and such on the executive level. We ain't had that yet. This is what I'm saying though, P.
Yeah.
We haven't had that yet. One of the reasons why, because we have people in the way that's telling people not to vote. That's the most fucked up shit in the world. We here. We are here. Now we may not see it. You may not see the shit come out of the wash, but you got to start that whole thing. We cannot be second class, because I think we always look, and I'm talking about black folks, look at ourselves as second class citizens also. It goes to the point where I understand our pain's frustration when we have these type of conversations. I hear him speak. And I understand when the things you guys know about politics, the things that Arpain knows about politics, I understand why he's frustrated, right? Because a lot of times when we are talking, we're saying the same shit, and he's heard this shit ever since he was a fucking kid. And for him to sit back and say, I'm hearing this shit again from y'all niggas. You know what I'm saying? So at some point, we have to be able to change the trajectory of the things that has been going on in the past. So we do need to talk to the younger folks, right? Especially someone that's of the caliber of your daughter, BMU. She can be edified also. Why? Because you'll get her in a space where it's people that's here, my age and older, your age and older, that can edify her to being the great person she's going to become, right? That's all of us when it comes down to our kids. Man, when I look at y'all brothers right now, and I'm going to end it with this. When I look at y'all brothers right now, I'm hearing, and I've been around you, BMU, you my brother. We've been talking for a long time. When I look at Arpain, my brother. This is my man, because I hear him speak. That's why we can sit back and be cool. Peace, hey, if you don't know BMU, that's my brother right there.
Facts.
That's my brother right there.
You need P. Smurf up here on Tuesdays for Showdown.
Yes, sir. So, Coach Ferg, man, Coach Ferg is the one. Remember, Coach Ferg, we had that conversation. He was like, look, no, man, we need to grab these young folks. We need to do what I told you, Coach Ferg. I said, that's you. That's what you do. I'm not doing what you do, Coach Ferg. I'm going to do it here in this space right here. He respected it, and he said, okay, I understand, JT. I understand exactly what you're talking about. We've been having these conversations, dog, and I'm telling you, we know, BMU, we done had people who came on the panel, people done talked to us, and they said, man, and they done went from high school all the way up. Now they're grown people in college. What's my man, Mike, what's his name, man? The motherfucker that got married.
Jedi Mike.
We helped that man, Jedi Mike, AP Smurf. We helped that man be 100 with his decision on marrying a woman that he was when he was in college, right?
Yep.
We talked to that young brother, man, and he'll tell you, he'll come up here and he'll tell you, yes, man, sir. The words that we have said to a lot of folks, bro, it really impacted them and it impacted their lives. That's why. And God damn it, I'm gonna end it for real this time.
He met his wife on this show.
Yeah, he met his wife on the man. Listen, but the thing, if you see him now, you hear him now, he has developed. From time.
Yeah, he's sitting at the table with Halle Berry, not having conversations with Halle Berry.
Come on, man. We got some. Yeah,
crazy, bro.
Our words. So when motherfuckers come, and I'm just gonna be 100 with y'all. When motherfuckers come and they try to bring us back 1,000 years, bro, I ain't with it no more.
I never was with it.
I ain't never gonna be with it.
I'm never with it.
Our words are fucking powerful, bro.
Let me add something you just said.
Arpain, hold on, Arpain. My baby says I got to put this out there before you go, Arpain. She said, Daddy, so you just not gonna tell them what I'm studying? Let me tell y'all what she's going to school for, okay? Because she get on my book. She's in school for political science.
Hey, congratulations!
Come on, man.
Congratulations. Up to what I was gonna say. You know, we need to take over local elections. I think we kind of alluded to that. That's why we can't tell kids they got to vote. But if they don't want to vote on a national level, they have to vote on a local level. Let me tell you, like in Dearborn, the Muslims took over a whole area because they voted. The Somalis did the same thing. And listen, the Somalis almost own Minneapolis. You know why they don't have the mayor? You know why they don't have the mayor? Because Mayor Fry used the genocidal hatred between one Somali group against the other. Mm-hmm. And that one group hated Omar Fatah and Ilhan Omar. Mm-hmm. And so they voted for him. Or else, if Fatah would have became mayor, they would have had a bloodless coup over one of the major cities in the United States.
Damn.
If he would have been mayor. And the Muslims do it all the time. And guess what? You know how in our local public schools we got to fight the transvestites and all those people putting the bullshit in the curriculum? In Dearborn, they can't put that bullshit in their high schools, in those schools. The Muslims ain't, because they're on the board. Ain't no conversations on whether Johnson got 2 dicks and in the school books. They're not letting that happen because they run the school board.
Exactly.
I'm 5 miles away from Dearborn, and you are absolutely right, bro. I'm 5 miles away from them.
And here go the thing. The thing about it is we're scared to migrate towards those with like minds in order to make this happen. Because let's go back to the point of what JT said. The problem is you saying vote for my son versus we seeing him grow up in the community together, right? We supposed to have communities. I say supposed to 9 to 5. When 5 o'clock come down, we shutting our businesses down and we're going to support our children at the local high school, the local college, and we're going to watch them build within the community. Your son's supposed to come work for me, JT. My daughter's supposed to go and work with BMU at his organization needed. And then our Payne's supposed to be one of the elders that sit on the board to say, these are the things that's needed as we see what happened in the past in order to build an infrastructure. See, we're so busy on us that we forget about us affects us, right? Yeah. And when we start to do that, we know, we want her to be the judge, right? Because she's been doing it since a kid. We want her to be a teacher in our community. And now we support that. That's the system that we have to have in the play, right? Women, they call it the one thing about the small hat people, they built a system and they stood on it. Do all go and involve in it? Well, on the majority side, they did, and that's why they make an effect everywhere they go throughout whatever communities that they're at. Because that, for the most part, a majority stands on that structure. I land.
All right, now so let me say this before we end the show, guys, because it's getting late and I got to get up at 4 in the morning.
Go myself.
Hit work. But I want to say this, man. I appreciate each one of you guys, man. I understand that, sometimes we have these, these clashes and so, but we got back on task. But I want to do, man, is we need to have a round table of fellas just like we have right here, right now, and more, right? Because this panel can hold 10 people. And so, Peace Word, man, if you're not busy on Tuesdays, bro, we would love to have you over here on Tuesdays. 8 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time every Tuesday, bro. Yeah. And every Friday we have a barbershop on Friday. So man, just come through, bro. We'd love to have you, man. We talk about everything under the sun, bro. So
JT invited me, and I'm grateful, BMU, that you did the same, because y'all on one accord like mine. So I'm grateful to be a part of it, and I will be a part of it. So absolutely, thank you for the invite. So I will sit at the table. I'm in schools on Monday and Wednesday, so that's perfect. Tuesday and Fridays, I'm gonna make this time because I enjoy this conversation and I want to continue to build and be a part of it. I'm a pinky. I don't give a damn about being the thumb, the pointer. I'm a pinky. I'm gonna do my pinky part.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I appreciate you, man. Coach Ferg, always, brother. I love you, man. Y'all got a show tomorrow for the sports show, man. Y'all got to talk about these big trades, brother. God, I cannot believe Cleveland. I can't believe Cleveland let that boy go over there to the Rams. I can't believe it.
That's crazy.
But yeah, y'all got to talk about then Odell Beckham. I guess he got some gas left. I see Russell Wilson then retired. So yeah, we'll talk about it. Caitlin Clark is entitled. So y'all got a lot to talk about tomorrow. JT, man, thank you, my brother. You know, I love you to death. Our Pain, man, I know he about to go in there, and you know, he's at the age where he want to have sex every night. So I know he's trying to get off the panel.
Go ahead, Elder. Go ahead.
Really, old man.
Antoine, what's going on, my guy, man? Man, but Antoine be on here a lot with us too, man, and giving his perspective as well. So I would love to have you guys back every Tuesday and Friday, man. And I appreciate you, man. Make sure you subscribe, Peace Mercy.
I got you. I'm on that right now.
And JT, make sure he'll send you all the links and stuff so we can all connect on every Tuesday. All right, man. But hey, man, we out, man. I'll see y'all later, man. Y'all have a good day tomorrow. Be safe out there in them streets.
Peace out.
Yeah. Black man unfiltered network. We ain't here to play nice. We here to flip everything they told you was normal. Hey. Yeah. Hey. We flipping tables. Yeah. We breaking labels. Facts. No more silence, no more favors. Truth hit hard, can't save it. Yeah. We flipping tables. This that real, no cable. Hey, if it's fake, we unplug it. Welcome to the table. Yeah. I came in the room, they was comfortable, quiet. Smiling in your face, but behind it is riot. They told me be calm, but I'm built for the storm. When the truth in the building, you better transform. They don't like a man when he speak with direction. They love you when broken, confused, and correction. But I'm on a mission, I'm changing perception. No filter, no fear, just raw intersection. System designed just to keep you disabled. Mentally trapped, spiritually labeled. I'm cutting the cords, the lies getting fatal. If it ain't the truth, I'm flipping in the table. We flipping tables. Yeah. We breaking labels. Facts. No more silence, no more favors. Truth hit hard, can't save you. Yeah. We flipping tables. They said don't question, I said watch me. Too many men out here living sloppy. No guidance, no code, no structure, no lead. Now we wonder why families bleed. This ain't hate, this accountability. Look in the mirror with this vulnerability. Masking and frame with responsibility. That's what they fear, that stability. I'm calling it out, no sugar, no glaze. We breaking these cycles, we shifting in the phase. Legacy built, not lost in the maze. We done being silent, we entering rage. This ain't just a podcast. It's a movement, it's a reset. If it's built on lies, it gotta fall. We flipping tables, no fear, no fables. Black men rise, we stable. Now we changing the label. We flipping tables. Truth is non-negotiable. Black man unfiltered. This the voice they ain't controlling. Flipping Tables podcast. Black man unfiltered network. If it don't make you uncomfortable, it ain't real.